Chapter 253. Rumble. The blood chi exploded and attacked the entire barrier. Even Jiang Changkong was unable to withstand the overwhelming might and had no choice but to retreat. Roar. A roar came from inside the blood chi palace. There's still a living being? A horrified voice rang out. Ji Qingwei and the others' expressions changed. The other prodigies and sinners hid in a corner, trembling. They realized that they had come to the Sin realm to tremble in fear. Jiang Changkong had a strange expression. Did this sound like a force pattern? Rumble. The sky shook violently as the black battleship rushed into the Sin realm, releasing boundless starlight in an attempt to suppress the blood chi. Kaboom! The black battleship shook and cracks appeared on its surface. This isn't star power, it's pure blood chi. Put away the battleship, Lin Qin said. And Shanha hurriedly put away the battleship. The blood chi was too strange to be able to shake the battleship. Rumble. The battleship disappeared, and the two of them faced the blood chi. The terrifying blood chi actually destroyed the starlight. The two experts felt like their heads were about to split open. With two screams, the two of them fell down at high speed. Jiang Changkong flew into the air, emitting dazzling golden light as he caught the two of them. Dong dong. A dull sound rang out, and Jiang Changkong's body caved in, but he recovered in an instant. Stepping on the ground, Jiang Changkong flew back with the two of them. Buzz. The blood chi trembled and swam in the air, crisscrossing and forming a huge and strange formation. Is this a star formation? And Shanha and Ji Qingwei stabilized themselves and looked at the two of them in shock. It should be, Jiang Changkong said. What's going on? Where's the Sin realm? And Shanha looked around. Only the blood palace was left of the flattened barrier. Other than the soil isolated by the barrier, there was not a trace of sand. It was like a huge pit surrounded by seawater, and the seawater was pouring into the Sin realm. It was destroyed by this thing. Jiang Changkong pointed at the blood chi palace and said calmly. He would not admit that he was the one who destroyed it. What is this thing? How did it come to the Sin realm? The two of them asked at the same time. You have always been in Sin domain, right? Or maybe they were brought in by the people from the Immortal Palace. I killed two of them inside, Jiang Changkong said. It's always been here. Immortal Palace? The two of them were a little confused. What was going on? Why did the Sin domain harvest become like this? Buzz. Just then, the star formation in the sky finally formed. It enveloped the entire Sin domain and slowly descended. As the star formation fell, a terrifying pressure enveloped everyone. The corner of Jiang Changkong's mouth twitched. It seemed that he had really gone too far. Damn it, what is this? And Shanha roared. The astral power in his body surged, and he was about to strike again. Jiang Changkong hurriedly stopped him. Don't fight against this thing. This place is very strange. It can hurt us by following the star power. Then what we do now? And Shanna's expression changed slightly as he asked solemnly. I'll send you off later. Once you're out, inform the Union immediately, Jiang Changkong said. Lin Qin's expression was solemn. We've already informed the Union. Someone will be here soon. Also, can you send us off? Don't move. Take them with you. I'll try. Jiang Changkong glanced at Ji Qingwei and the others. They would die if they stayed here. Don't resist later. Be careful, Ji Qingwei and the others said. If you have a way, do it now. The star formation is about to fall, and Shanha said anxiously. Jiang Changkong gave them a deep look. Sit tight. Roar. A strange roar sounded. 6 golden dragons as thick as arms appeared, their heads suffused with blood energy. You were the one who roared that day. Ji Qingwei and the others looked at him in fear. Was Jiang Changkong a human or a star demon? Don't just stand there. Everyone, get up. Jiang Changkong shouted. The force pattern extended rapidly until it reached Ji Qingwei and the others. Let's go, and Shanna shouted. Without hesitation, he stepped onto the golden dragon. Ji Qingwei and the others didn't think anymore and hurriedly stepped onto it. Jiang Changkong said coldly, I'll say it again. Don't use star power later. Otherwise, I won't be able to protect you. Roar. The strange roar sounded again. This time, it wasn't the 6 force patterns, but the Blood Chi Palace. Rise! Carrying countless people, Jiang Changkong's body suddenly expanded. Golden light shone, and the force pattern thickened. 3-foot golden body, 3 foot tall, with dragon-like muscles. Force patterns coiled around his body, bursting with terrifying power. Wherever the force pattern passed, the Blood Chi star formation shook. Just as it was about to suppress them, it suddenly opened up a path and let them pass. Jiang Changkong put his hands behind his back. The tricolored stone bead glowed. This was the only thing he could do. The force pattern alone couldn't send him away. The Blood Chi Palace gave him preferential treatment, but it wasn't his home. He could give them preferential treatment, but it was impossible for him to travel unimpeded. Fortunately, the tricolored stone bead was related to the palace, so it gave him permission. The force pattern extended to the barrier. Lin Qin hurriedly opened the barrier, and the group left. They released the battleship and let Ji Qingyue and the others in. The 2 high-level martial artists had solemn expressions. They shouted, "Jiang Changkong, come up." Whoosh! The force pattern quickly retracted, the barrier closed, and the 3-foot golden body disappeared. "Jiang Changkong, you uncle and any Lin, this palace is most likely related to what Jiang Changkong learned. He won't come out," Ji Qingyue said. "I've also informed my family. There will be high-level martial artists coming later. This time, they must be at the peak of the astral form. Doesn't Jiang Changkong cultivate the Sunstar power? Why is it related to this?" And Shanha asked in confusion. Also, why are there 6 golden dragons in Jiang Changkong's body? The Sunstar power is only one of Jiang Changkong's martial arts, a genius said in horror. He's strong enough to capture people's souls, and he knows Yin Bugui's 9 skies and 9 clouds technique. He even killed a few star embryo martial artists. What? The two's expressions changed. What happened in the Sin realm? Jiang Changkong leveled the Sin realm, not the palace, another martial artist said with a trembling voice. The two were speechless. Jiang Changkong leveled the Sin realm and killed a few star embryo martial artists? They were confused, and they could not accept it. Rumble. An intense tremor came from below, and Shanha and the others' expressions changed. The first layer of barrier was completely shattered. The star array fell and shattered the barrier, but there was an even stronger barrier. The palace shook violently. Blood Chi exploded again, intertwining in the void and forming a new star array. Sky full of stars array. In the Sin realm, Jiang Changkong withdrew his 30-foot golden body. 6 power patterns coiled around him. He looked at the Blood Chi Palace with a serious expression. He remembered the image of the sky, full of stars array. The 3 palaces had countless star arrays that covered the starry sky. If this palace was intact, it could probably destroy Earth. But now this palace was broken. Only 3 layers were left. Everything above 3 layers had been forcefully cut off. Jiang Changkong held the tricolored stone bead in his hand and walked toward the Blood Chi Palace. The star power in his body was hidden, and only the dense blood chi and power patterns were on his body. A monstrous blood chi appeared behind him, and the essence chi rose above his head. Roar! A strange roar came from the Blood Chi Palace again, shaking countless blood chi and activating the star array. Chapter 254. In his memory, the palace had a total of 9 floors. The monstrous blood energy that was released obscured the specific appearance. He could only see a rough outline. The same was true for the power of the moon and sun stars. Jiang Changkong arrived in front of the palace. The palace's door had been destroyed, and the surrounding walls had large holes. The exterior was blood-colored and full of blood energy. The dilapidated walls were engraved with human figures. These human figures all had the same power pattern as him. Some of these power patterns formed dragon heads, while others formed snake heads. His gaze passed through the door. It was empty inside. There was nothing but floating blood energy. Jiang Changkong took a deep breath and walked in. As he stepped into the blood energy palace, blood energy patterns appeared on the floor under his feet. This place was filled with star arrays. In other words, this place was full of killing intent. Without sufficient strength and the tricolored stone bead, Anyone who came would probably die. But now, he didn't know how powerful this palace was, and he didn't dare to use the tricolored stone bead to test it. At the end of his vision, there was a staircase leading to the second floor. He wasn't in a hurry to go up. His gaze swept across the walls, which were engraved with star texts and human figures. Below the immortal realm, the ultimate strength, shattering the void, Jiang Changkong stared at one of the star runes with a grave expression. There were many star texts, densely packed, almost occupying all the places that didn't have any figures. He, who had learned star texts, noticed that these star texts were written differently. More than one person had been here. Jiang Changkong knew a lot of star texts now, but it was troublesome to translate them. He didn't know all of them here. After thinking about it, he took out his phone and planned to take a picture. But when he took out his phone, the screen was black. He couldn't open it at all. It's broken? No. The phone has always been in the hidden star ring. It wasn't affected. Jiang Changkong put away his phone. This palace might have temporarily disabled his phone. It was fine. He still had a notebook and a notebook. Ever since he copied the star texts in the Twisted Land, he had specially prepared some. Opening the notebook, Jiang Changkong gently wrote. A shocking scene appeared. The stroke he had just written actually disappeared. He could only watch helplessly as it disappeared. He couldn't sense it at all. He didn't sense any energy fluctuations. Roar. The strange roar sounded again. Jiang Changkong put away his notebook and pen and stepped onto the second floor. Since he couldn't record these star runes, he would go up and see if there was anything good. With the tricolored stone bead, there shouldn't be any danger. He wanted to see how this roar of power marks was released. Could it be that there was still a living person? If there was a living person, there was no way he wouldn't come out unless he was trapped. The staircase was not long. Jiang Changkong had already reached the second floor after a few leaps. The second floor was no longer empty. Instead, it was filled with small rooms with blood-red doors. The roar of power pattern came from here. Jiang Changkong came to the nearest room. Looking at the blood-red door, he reached out and pressed on it. Buzz! The door shook, and the palm easily passed through it. Is this blood chi? Jiang Changkong used both hands to pry open a gap and looked inside. A pair of lifeless eyes happened to be staring at him. Their eyes met. Holy shit! He quickly retracted his hands. Jiang Changkong was a little dumbfounded. There's a person sitting inside, and he was still looking at him. No, the eyes are lifeless. Could it be a dead person? Jiang Changkong pondered. If it was a living person, he should have had a reaction just now. Thinking of this, the roar of power marks stretched out and opened the door of blood chi. This time, he saw the person inside and the situation. The space inside was very narrow, only 4 feet wide, and it was all blood-red. A man was sitting against the blood-red wall. His eyes were naturally open, and he was looking at the blood door. He wore a green ancient robe, and his face was young. His skin was like jade, and his hands were slender. In front of him, there was a broken sword. It's really a dead person. Jiang Changkong didn't feel the slightest bit of vitality from the man. The surroundings were covered by blood chi. Jiang Changkong relied on the tricolored stone bead and walked in. He reached out and scanned the surroundings. Other than the man's back leaning against the real wall, there was blood chi gathering on both sides. The roar of power marks swept the ground, but there was nothing. This corpse actually has no essence. Jiang Changkong touched the corpse and found that it was still warm. Traces of blood chi kept entering the corpse, nourishing his body. No wonder there's no essence. It's all being maintained by blood chi. Jiang Changkong pinched the finger of the young man, and a solemn expression appeared on his face. So hard, he used 70% of his strength on the corpse's finger, but he couldn't move it at all. After thinking about it, 6 roar of power marks vibrated at the same time. He used all his strength, pure strength. There was still no reaction from the finger. It was still like jade, and there was no trace of it. How strong did this guy train his body when he was alive? Jiang Changkong was shocked. He looked at the broken sword again. The broken sword had already decayed, and the essence inside had been lost. It was worthless. He searched the corpse again, but he didn't find any spatial equipment. Roar. The strange roar came again, and Jiang Changkong hurriedly left the blood-red room. Following the roar, Jiang Changkong came to the front of a blood door. Jiang Changkong carefully opened it this time. This time, it was the man in the ancient robe who was sitting cross-legged. His head was lowered, and he wasn't angry. However, his body was moving, and the roar came from his body. After thinking about it, Jiang Changkong's roar of power mark vibrated, and he let out a roar. Roar, roar. Two roar of power marks rang out at the same time. The man sitting cross-legged still had his head lowered, and there was no movement. The sound came from his body. All right, I can't win against you. Jiang Changkong's roar of power mark was directly covered. He walked in directly. Jiang Changkong reached out to touch the corpse. There was no need to try, and he definitely wouldn't be able to break the defense. However, he didn't want to break the defense either. He wanted to see how far this guy had reached in the path of body refinement. He grabbed the ancient robe and exerted force, but it didn't move at all. He used all his strength, but it still didn't move. This was awkward. He was in the late stage, star embryo stage, and he couldn't do anything to a piece of clothing. He tried to move the corpse, but he still couldn't move it. The roar of power mark also became quiet. Jiang Changkong didn't dare to act recklessly anymore. He squatted down and looked at the person's face. It's him. Jiang Changkong's expression changed, and he retreated slowly. In the image, it was that extremely powerful martial artist. His strength was extremely powerful, and he had crossed the sun and moon with a single step. However, he was now a corpse. Back then, he had resisted the devouring of the starry sky with the three palaces. Thinking of this, Jiang Changkong felt a lot more comforted. He didn't know how strong this person was, but he was a top-notch martial artist. It was normal that he couldn't move him. Moreover, from the looks of it, he was still a body refinement martial artist. He naturally wouldn't be able to move him with pure strength. As he retreated, the blood and qi on the ground dissipated. Jiang Changkong's gaze froze. There were star runes engraved on the ground. He swept away the blood and qi, and a few planet runes appeared. Jiang Changkong frowned and translated seriously. Pursuing immortal and god-fortuitous encounters, paying respects to the battle palace, and encountered a great calamity. Fortunately, the battle palace collected the corpse. Battle palace? What's going on with this person? He's dead, but the power mark is still alive. Jiang Changkong's expression was solemn. Pursuing immortal and god-fortuitous encounters. Had this person become an immortal or not? Was this palace helping to collect the corpse? Jiang Changkong continued to watch, and he felt a headache. Why did these people learn star runes? Why didn't they come to Earth to study and learn Chinese? Translation was really troublesome. However, if it was really Chinese, that would be too shocking. Those who left their names in the battle palace collected the corpse. Those who obtained the divine pearls of our three palaces attracted three lights and obtained a fragment of the immortal scripture. Chapter 255. Attracting the tricolored stone bead? Jiang Changkong looked at the tricolored stone bead in his hand. Wasn't this enough? Should he lure the tricolored light out? He didn't think that he had to be a tri-elemental cultivator. If that was the case, he would have to be worshipped when he came in. Jiang Changkong pondered for a while and infused pure blood energy into the tricolored stone bead. Buzz! The tricolored stone bead shook violently, and mysterious star runes appeared on the floor. The surrounding blood energy surged into the tricolored stone bead. The blood energy and power patterns in Jiang Changkong's body were being absorbed by the tricolored stone bead. Damn it, shouldn't I have lured the tricolored light out? You've lured me out. Jiang Changkong cursed and hurriedly left the room, activating his 3-foot golden body. Fortunately, the space outside was not small and could barely accommodate him. The tricolored stone bead continued to absorb the blood energy in the surroundings, as well as Jiang Changkong's blood energy and power. The tricolored stone bead absorbed the surrounding blood energy, as well as Jiang Changkong's blood energy and power. Jiang Changkong's 3-foot golden body was shrinking at a visible speed, and his body was shriveling. It won't suck me dry, right? A trace of fear appeared in Jiang Changkong's heart. He wanted to let go of the stone bead, but it stuck to him. 2 feet, 3 feet. In just a few breaths, Jiang Changkong was only 3 feet tall, and his body was skin and bones. But even so, the tricolored stone bead was still absorbing. He had been tricked by this guy. Jiang Changkong cursed in his heart, but there was nothing he could do. He could only let the tricolored stone bead absorb. It was only when his body returned to normal that the suction began to slow down. Jiang Changkong was already lying on the ground. A weak suction came, draining his last bit of power. This damned thing finally stopped. Jiang Changkong lay on the ground without any strength to move. He couldn't feel the power patterns or the existence of his body. He didn't dare to use the God-governing art and could only lie there. Buzz. The tricolored stone bead vibrated and shone brightly. The blood energy in the surroundings surged and strangely arranged themselves, forming ancient star characters that poured into Jiang Changkong's mind. A large amount of blood energy seemed to have come to life as it surged over and wrapped around him. His shriveled body swelled up like a balloon. Jiang Changkong's eyes widened. He discovered that his strength was recovering, and his perception of his body was also gradually recovering. Regaining control of his body, he felt a surge of energy coursing through his body. Unfortunately, this blood chi could only help him recover, not grow. Next, the blood chi that rushed into his mind took the form of ancient star symbols, and some of the blood chi carved out countless star formations in his mind. Was this a remnant chapter of an immortal scripture? Looking at his own data, there was indeed a change. Jiang Changkong, late-stage star embryo. High-tier lower-grade martial art, 3-foot golden body. Deshang 1/1800000 Tai Chi Yin Yang art. Deshang 1/1800000 blade. Deshang 1/1800000 Holy Sun art. Deshang 1/1800000 God, Reigning art. Deshang 1/1800000 Bright Moon art. Deshang 1/1800000 White Cloud Ninefold Sutra. Deshang 1/1800000 High-tier lower-grade array. Battle body star formation. Incomplete rudimentary 0/50,000 essence. Energy, spirit. 491155. 4. High-tier, middle-grade, high-grade star formation, incomplete. Not strong enough to practice. Star formation, high or incomplete. Jiang Changkong's mind was in a mess. These were high-low, middle, and high-grade. Did they correspond to the 3 floors of the palace? If that was the case, then the lost 6 levels corresponded to the apex level and the level above the apex. Boom! The palace suddenly shook, and voices came from below. Attention, everyone. This place is very strange. Be careful. Don't touch anything. Watch your step. There are star formations everywhere in this palace. There are star characters on the walls. Let's go take a look. They're finally here. Jiang Changkong held the tricolor stone bead and didn't rush to go down. He went to the other rooms and found that these corpses didn't have any spatial equipment. Their weapons were either broken, decayed, or missing. He didn't rush to practice the formation. He planned to translate all these star characters after he went back. Now, while there was still time, he would go to the 3rd floor to have a look. As soon as he stepped on the stairs of the 3rd floor, the voices came again. Be careful of the star formation. Everyone, pay attention. This place is strange. It should be left by a body refining martial artist. The strongest warriors. These star characters were all carved by the strongest warriors, close to God level. Attention, in addition to us, there is also Jiang Changkong here. Jiang Changkong has something to do with this place. He should go up. When Jiang Changkong heard this, he stopped listening and walked to the 3rd floor. Don't go up. An old voice suddenly sounded. It was the ancient star characters. Jiang Changkong's hair stood on end. He turned around in horror. An old man stood quietly behind him. He didn't even notice how he came out. He had just seen this person. He was one of those corpses. Are you a human or a ghost? Jiang Changkong's heart was cold. The strangeness of this place was far beyond his imagination. In the battle palace, each person takes one thing. You have already taken it. If you take another, you will be left behind. The old man turned a deaf ear to his question and said expressionlessly, "Senior, what kind of palace is this battle palace? Is it really left by an immortal god?" Jiang Changkong changed his attitude and asked respectfully, "What kind of immortal god's opportunity was this?" He only got the formation Tao, and all the star formation was the battle body. The old man didn't have the slightest change in expression and continued, "Each person takes one thing. Bear the consequences. Inform the others." After that, the old man disappeared. Not even his shadow could be seen. Jiang Changkong looked at the third floor, but didn't go up. He began to go down. This place was too strange. The dead actually came out to talk to him. If they were ordinary people, it would be fine. But these corpses were extremely terrifying experts when they were alive. Walking down the stairs, a group of people appeared in his sight in the hall. After counting, there were a total of 23 people. Jiang Changkong couldn't see through any of them. All of them were astral bodies, and some were above astral bodies. When Jiang Changkong appeared, the eyes of the group gathered on him. Jiang Changkong. "Hello, everyone. What did you see?" Jiang Changkong walked over. "Wait, don't come over. Why didn't they attack you?" A middle-aged man said in a deep voice. The others also looked at him with vigilance. "Because I'm also a body-tempering martial artist." 6 force patterns appeared around Jiang Changkong's body. This is called a force pattern. The human-shaped pattern on the palace is the same as mine, a force pattern. When the body tempering reaches a certain level and is strong enough, a force pattern will be formed. Force pattern? Many martial artists were shocked. Some of them suddenly said, "I see. I have seen it in some star texts." Legend has it that extremely strong body tempering martial artists can explode stars with one punch and grab the sun and moon with their palms. A man glowing with red light said, "I am Yao Chan's 5th uncle, Yao Qing of the Alcade Chamber of Commerce. I am at the peak of the astral body." You went up and looked. What is inside? There's a pile of corpses of experts inside. One of the corpses told me that each person can only take one item here. Otherwise, they will stay here. Jiang Changkong didn't hide anything. He informed them, "This is called the Battle Palace. Legend has it that the immortal god's opportunity is hidden here. I don't know the details." Everyone looked at each other. "What did you take?" "Star Array. If you want it, you can find it yourself," Jiang Changkong said lightly. "But remember, you can only take one item." "Ah, kid, who are you trying to fool? Did the corpse tell you that?" A martial artist sneered and said, "Call the corpse out if you can. It's up to you whether you believe it or not," Jiang Changkong said lightly. Yao Qing said, "I believe you. Let's take a look at these star texts first. I will introduce some friends to you. This is Yin Qingyue's mother, Yin Shi. This is Nan Zhaokong of the Nan family. Hello, Brother Jiang." The two nodded slightly in greeting. Jiang Changkong responded to them one by one. He just stood at the side and didn't move. "Come over. If we really fight, this place can't stop us," a martial artist said. "This place only restricts those below the peak of the astral body." Jiang Changkong thought for a moment and walked over. Chapter 256. Those who could come to the battle palace were basically peak astral bodies. Those below peak were forbidden by the Federation. Yao Qing's group surrounded 2 middle-aged people, a man and a woman. The man was called Lin Feng. He had short hair and a cold expression. The woman was Hua Qinglan. Her face was covered by a veil. She was dressed in blue. Both of them were from the Federation. Jiang Changkong made a bold guess. These two were probably star-level martial artists. What is written in these star texts? I just learned the star text and am not very familiar with it, Jiang Changkong said. Yao Qing pointed at a star text. These were left behind by the strongest near gods. Near gods? Jiang Changkong asked curiously. What realm are these martial artists? The top, above the star level, are Star Path, Star Sage, and Near Gods. We like to call them Near Gods. Yao Qing explained. Near Gods are the strongest martial artists in the Federation and the people closest to gods. According to the star texts, Near Gods are infinitely close to the legendary immortals. Infinitely close to the legendary immortals? Wasn't that a living god? Jiang Changkong muttered in his heart. Then what is written in these star texts? They're all near gods who came here to search for immortals and gods, and to leave their names. One must be near gods to leave their names. We've all tried, but we can't. Yao Qing looked slightly excited. So many near gods have come here. There must be great opportunities here. I haven't seen great opportunities, but I've seen great terror. Only near gods can leave their names, and only after leaving their names will they collect their corpses. Jiang Changkong felt a chill on his back. The second floor above was filled with near gods. He counted about 100 of them. If they ran out, they wouldn't just flatten Sin Realm, but Earth. Can I leave first? Jiang Changkong's face twitched. He didn't dare to think further. No. Lin Feng's expression was cold. You're the only one who has been here before. I need you experience later. Experience my ass. Experience my ass. Do you want it? Jiang Changkong rolled his eyes and didn't say anything else. He just watched them study the star text. These near gods all took something from the War Palace and then left. Yao Qing looked at the star text and said excitedly, "These are all extraterrestrial powerhouses. This proves once again that other than the star demon, there are other life forms in the extraterrestrial world. Can it be from ancient Earth?" Jiang Changkong muttered. It was hard to say. He had 3 palaces, a laurel tree, and a golden crow. What if they were really ancient people from Earth? Yao Qing's expression froze. I can't rule out that possibility. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see him. What a pity. You won't regret it. As long as you go up to the second floor, they'll all be seated, and you can look as much as you want. Jiang Changkong thought to himself, those who leave their names seek the immortal god's fortuitous encounter and leave behind their martial arts. Yao Qing continued, martial arts? 23 people became excited at the same time. Jiang Changkong wasn't excited at all. He only felt regret. Why couldn't he learn the star text right away? A near god's martial art was much more valuable than the star formation map he obtained. What celestial scriptures? They were all lies. Apart from the star text, there's nothing else valuable here. Let's go up, Lin Feng said. Okay, it's empty here. There's nothing else. The other martial artists looked up. A near god's martial art. It had to be up there. An immortal god's fortuitous encounter plus a near god's martial art. If this got out, it would definitely make the entire Federation go crazy. Jiang Changkong didn't say anything and followed them up again. Anyway, he wasn't going to take anything and just look around. There shouldn't be a problem. Moreover, these people wouldn't let him leave so easily. The group went up to the second floor and looked at the blood-colored rooms. None of them moved easily. Lin Feng looked at him. Jiang Changkong, you've been here before. Tell us. Yao Qing and the others also looked at him, waiting for him to speak. These blood doors are all formed by blood energy. There are more than 100 of them, and they're all corpses, Jiang Changkong said lightly. A cold smile appeared in Lin Feng's eyes. Corpses? Where are the treasures? Treasures? There are no treasures, Jiang Changkong said lightly. You took it yourself, right? A middle-aged man sneered. His strength forced back the surrounding blood energy. Although this blood-chi palace was strange, it was nothing in the face of this group of peak astral bodies or even stronger martial artists. Jiang Changkong smiled slightly. I said before, I can only take one thing from here. I've already taken a star formation. I can't take anything else. What a joke. How many can you take? That's just your mouth, the middle-aged man said coldly. How should I address you, big brother? Jiang Changkong cupped his hands politely. What? You want to remember me and find trouble with me when you have the strength? The middle-aged man scoffed. Remember, Sheng Jin, Jin Han Sheng. Big brother, you misunderstand. I'm not looking for trouble with you, Jiang Changkong said with a smile. I want to exterminate your entire family. You enough. Yao Qing snorted, interrupting Jin Han Sheng. Changkong is an ally of our 3 families. If you want to touch him, you have to ask us first. Hu Qinglan said lightly. All right, I believe Changkong's words. Moreover, Changkong just came here. Please introduce us. Jin Hansheng's gaze turned cold, and he glared at Jiang Changkong, withdrawing his killing intent. I'll let you off for now. Jiang Changkong opened and closed his eyes, ignoring him. He was an old enemy of Xingjin. He was present, or even the only high-level martial artist in the entire Federation who refined his body. Here, he received preferential treatment. These people did not dare to kill him easily. Plus, with the relationship between the three families, he was not afraid of Jin Hanshin. I said, they're all corpses. Moreover, every room is like this. You guys go see for yourselves. Jiang Changkong said. He paused, and then said, they're all the corpses of seniors. I feel that you guys should pay your respects. It's not strange to be too polite. Lin Feng's gaze moved slightly, and he glanced at Jin Hanshin. Jin Hanshing's expression turned cold, and he shouted, playing tricks. You go in first. Jiang Changkong shrugged and directly walked over. He first cupped his hands and bowed. I have no choice but to disturb you again. Please forgive me, senior. Seeing the corpses that popped out, Jiang Changkong did not dare to act recklessly again. Like he said, it's not strange to be too polite. He would pay his respects first. After paying his respects, Jiang Changkong entered the blood energy door. The corpses sat cross-legged inside, and then he retreated. There was no tricolored stone bead, and this place did not make things difficult for him. He did not know if it was because of the greetings. Jiang Changkong walked out. It's fine. I'll continue paying my respects. I forgot about it before. Finishing, he paid his respects to the other doors. Yao Qing, Qi Shi, and Nanzhawking also followed and paid their respects. Hua Qinglan moved forward and also paid her respects. Only then did she enter and examine the corpses. Seeing that they were all fine, the others also followed in. Some people followed and paid their respects, and some did not. After paying his respects, Jiang Changkong looked at these people. Hua Qinglan, Yao Qing, and the others paid their respects very seriously, and it was not just once. They paid their respects outside the door, and, after entering, they paid their respects again. With this comparison, Jiang Changkong discovered that he was not as respectful as these corpses that were close to gods. Just as he was hesitating whether or not to pay his respects again, something unexpected happened. The middle-aged woman's corpse that Hua Qinglan paid her respects shone with a dark green light, directly entering her forehead. Hua Qinglan's body shook, and her eyes shone with a green light as she heavily kowtowed. Chapter 257. Thump, thump, thump. The sound was clear and audible. Jiang Changkong felt pain for her. Thank you for the inheritance, senior. I will not let you down, Hua Qinglan said with a hint of excitement, her voice crisp and melodious. Jiang Changkong, I'm the one who got the tricolored stone pearl. Why did Hua Qinglan get the inheritance? It was because of what I said that she worshipped me. Thank you for the inheritance, senior. It's actually a Sunstar Force martial art. My Nan family has another top martial art, Nan Zhaokong said excitedly. Thank you, senior. My Nan family. Thank you, senior. My Alcade merchant group, Jiang Changkong. What the F *CK? Top-notch martial arts? The Immortal Sutra was replaced with a high-tier star array. There were also 3 high-level martial artists who received the inheritance through the worship. You all received the inheritance? Lin Feng and the others had ugly expressions. They did not worship. There were also some insincere martial artists who worshipped perfunctorily. They were worse than Jiang Changkong and did not receive the inheritance. Thank you, Changkong. So you were purposely reminding us to receive the inheritance. Hua Qinglan slowly stood up and bowed to him very solemnly. Thank you, Changkong. We actually did not understand Changkong's painstaking efforts just now. Yao Qing and the others also bowed. Thank you, Changkong. The other 3 who received the inheritance all bowed in thanks. The corner of Jiang Changkong's mouth twitched. He said through gritted teeth, You're welcome. Can I say that I didn't know it all? The tricolored stone pearl did not say this. If it did, I would have come in and worshipped dozens of times and received the inheritance. The expressions of Lin Feng, Jin Hansheng, and the others became more and more ugly, but they still maintained their calm. Lin Feng forced out a smile. I wonder what level the top martial art Qinglan received has reached. Hua Qinglan smiled slightly. It was unknown whether it was intentional or not. Of course it's close to God, as well as senior's cultivation, comprehension, and experience. Jiang Changkong glanced at Hua Qinglan and saw the corner of her jade-like lips curled up under the light veil. This was intentional to provoke Lin Feng. Sure enough, Lin Feng's face was as black as the bottom of a pot, squeezing out a smile uglier than crying. Congratulations. Dong dong. The sound of kowtowing resounded. The cultivators who did not obtain the inheritance started to pay their respects again. Jiang Changkong glanced over and saw that Jin Hansheng was among them. He said indifferently, "What's the point of paying respects now? You're not sincere enough. You little brat, what do you know? This is just a dead person. There must be some kind of restriction. As long as he kowtowed and had the correct posture, he would receive the inheritance." Sincerity? Dead people can feel sincerity? Jin Hansheng sneered and continued to kowtow. When the other cultivators who had not been sent out heard this, they felt that it made sense and started kowtowing as well. Jiang Changkong curled his lips and smiled, but he was muttering in his heart, "It seems to make sense." However, it was fine if he was really dead, but the key thing was that he could come back to life. Moreover, he had already obtained the inheritance of the array diagram, so it was unlikely that he would be able to obtain the inheritance of these people. Hua Qinglan's crisp voice was heard. "You said that you could only take one thing. The corpse told you that. Which senior's corpse?" "That one." Jiang Changkong pointed at a bloody door in the distance. Hua Qinglan walked over, and the others also gathered around. Jiang Changkong admired them. They were a bunch of idiots and daring. Hua Qinglan paid her respects and swept away the blood energy. There were no star symbols on the ground. She asked in confusion, "Changkong, there are no star symbols here. What did he tell you?" "He stood up and told me with his mouth," Jiang Changkong said indifferently. The cultivators were frightened and hurriedly retreated. Hua Qinglan also hurriedly left the small room, but her eyes were fixed on the old man's corpse. There was no change. "This kid is scaring us. When we came in just now, I searched these corpses." Jin Hansheng sneered. "If they could really stand up and talk, why would they let us search them?" "That's right. I searched them too," Lin Feng said. "This kid is full of nonsense." Jin Hansheng sneered. A beam of star power flew out and landed on the corpse. The corpse did not react. The star power did not even tear the corpse's clothes. "See? This is a corpse. It can stand up and talk to you. Are you hallucinating?" Jin Hansheng sneered. Jiang Changkong said sarcastically, "You're not kowtowing anymore. You, shut up. It's you who can't get the inheritance. You're making things difficult for Changkong. What kind of ability is that?" Hua Qinglan snorted, her eyes glowing with green light. Jin Hansheng did not dare to speak anymore. He snorted and retreated to the side. "Let's go. There's nothing here. We'll go higher," Lin Feng said. "I've never been to the third level," Jiang Changkong said. Lin Feng said coldly, "Lead the way. If you don't have the guts, then don't go up." After getting the inheritance, Hua Qinglan spoke up for Jiang Changkong. Just now, when Jiang Changkong said to pay homage, they followed to pay homage to get the inheritance. Yao Qing and the other two said calmly. Changkong said that he will only take one item. "We've already gotten it. We don't want to go up." Lin Feng's expression darkened. "You guys dare to talk to me like this?" Yao Qing sneered. "We respected you before because we gave face to the Federation. Without the Federation, you are nothing in front of the three of us." There were top martial artists from the three families. They were really not afraid of Lin Feng. Not to mention, Hua Qinglan was still standing beside Jiang Changkong. A hint of anger flashed across Lin Feng's face, but he forcefully suppressed it and did not explode. "Aren't you curious about what's in the third level?" "I'm really not curious. We've already gotten something. No matter how good it is, we can't take it anymore," Hua Qinglan said calmly. Jiang Changkong was actually curious in his heart. But that old thing already came out and said that unless he had no other choice, he definitely would not go up. "Go up together. Otherwise, we'll fight." Lin Feng's gaze turned cold. Hua Qinglan's eyes flickered. "Then you try. Let's go up." Jin Hansheng and the others spoke at the same time. There were a total of 23 people. 7 of them obtained the legacy and did not want to go up. The remaining 16 people would not get anything if they did not agree now. "Why don't we go up?" Yao Qing said in a low voice. "They have many people. If we fight, We won't be their match. Hu Qinglan frowned and looked at Jiang Changkong. Let's go up. We won't touch anything. No matter how good it is, we won't take it. There shouldn't be any danger. It was impossible to start a fight now. Jiang Changkong's side definitely could not beat them. After thinking for a moment, Jiang Changkong said, "Let me first ask if these seniors agree or not." After saying that, Jiang Changkong bowed one by one. "Seniors, I have no choice but to go up and take a look. I definitely won't take a second item. If you don't speak, I'll take it as you agree." Everyone looked at him with cold expressions and did not speak. Lin Feng and the others' eyes were filled with cold light, faintly revealing killing intent. Hu Qinglan and the others also bowed and repeated Jiang Changkong's words. The corpses did not react. Jiang Changkong heaved a sigh of relief. "Let's go up together." Only then did the group step up the stairs to the third level. This time, the corpses did not come out. It was unknown if they had listened to his words and agreed. Boom! The moment they stepped into the third level, a tyrannical blood chi spread out. Lin Feng and Hu Qinglan, who were walking at the front, trembled at the same time. The others directly vomited a mouthful of blood. Their expressions were dispirited as they staggered back. Jiang Changkong also felt extremely strong pressure. Chapter 258. Roar. A strange roar resounded and 6 energy patterns appeared. The power of the star array on the third level was too terrifying. These peak stars were all heavily injured. Although Lin Feng and Hu Qinglan weren't injured, their strength was greatly suppressed. Pay attention. The star array here has reached the star level. Lin Feng shouted and waved his hand. A golden barrier appeared and covered everyone. With the golden barrier protecting everyone, the pressure dissipated. They circulated their star power and healed their injuries. Jiang Changkong used his invincible Vajra body, and his injuries healed in an instant. "Let's go." Lin Feng brought along the barrier and led everyone into the third floor. Thick blood energy circled around the third level, blocking everyone's sight. Jiang Changkong could only see 3 meters away. The group entered the third level, and Lin Feng threw out a few golden stones. The golden stones flew out and emitted golden star power, forming a star array and dispersing the blood energy. Buzz! The third level shook violently. The blood energy on the floor collided with the golden star power, trying to destroy it. This is a pinnacle star formation. How much power does this dilapidated palace have left? Lin Feng sneered and looked around. Jiang Changkong was also looking at the third level. It was a wide space with hundreds of stone platforms. There were stone boxes on the stone platforms. Around the stone platforms were engraved ancient star characters. Near divinity martial arts. These are all near divinity martial arts. Lin Feng said excitedly. "Ha, so many near divinity martial arts. We're rich." Jin Hanxing laughed and pounced on the stone platform. "You can only take one item," Jiang Changkong said faintly. "Kid, shut up now. Do you want to take everything after we leave?" Jin Hanxing sneered. "I'm telling you, we want everything here." Lin Feng smiled and said proudly, "This palace is seriously damaged. If it was complete, I would be afraid. But now, it's at most a peak star level. With this barrier, we can suppress this place. As long as you're happy." Jiang Changkong didn't say anything. He couldn't stop people who wanted to die. "Changkong, is what you said true?" Yao Qing pulled him and whispered. Hu Qinglan and the other 2 also looked at him. Jiang Changkong nodded. "If they're fine, I'll tear this place down." If Lin Feng and the others didn't die, then it proved that the reanimated corpses were just scaring him. He would definitely tear down this palace. "Mine, it's all mine." One by one, the martial artists frantically rushed towards the stone platform, grabbing the stone box in their hands. This stone box doesn't have any restrictive spells on it, so it can be easily opened, Jin Hanxing said excitedly. Metal-type martial arts, near deity level, everything is complete. I found a martial art of the same attribute. It's close to divinity, another martial artist said excitedly. "Why don't we run away while they're going crazy?" Jiang Changkong suggested. "Let's go." Hu Qinglan grabbed him and was about to leave. Lin Feng had already gone crazy. After taking one stone box, he went to take a second one. He was not satisfied at all. It was the same for Jin Hansheng and the others. They dared to take whatever they had. I'm going to create the number one power, and when that time comes, I'll have hundreds of people close to God. Starry Sky Expedition. When the time comes, we'll enter the starry sky and dominate the galaxy. Listening to these crazy words, Jiang Changkong and the others could only pray that they wouldn't die too quickly later. However, just as they turned around, their bodies stiffened at the same time. At the entrance of the third floor, an old figure had appeared out of nowhere. His lifeless eyes were watching everything. Senior, we didn't take a second one. Jiang Changkong and the others swallowed their saliva and subconsciously retreated. The old man was expressionless. His lifeless eyes shone on the crazy Lin Feng and the others. The 16 people who were still dreaming did not know that danger had already arrived. Ha bang! The laughter stopped abruptly. A pinnacle astral body silently exploded and turned into a cloud of blood mist. The blood mist ignored the barrier and merged into the endless blood chi. What's going on? Lin Feng and the others hurriedly turned around and saw the old man at the entrance. They retreated in fear. The reanimated corpses. The old man looked at Jiang Changkong and the others. All of you retreat behind me. Hua Qinglan's expression changed. Majestic astral power surged, and a dark green star appeared behind her, protecting Jiang Changkong and the others. Boom! With a glance, the stars split open. Hua Qinglan's body shook, and blood splashed from her mouth. The old man's eyes were still lifeless. He turned his gaze to another pinnacle astral body. Bang! The pinnacle astral body exploded and turned into a blood mist. It ignored the barrier and merged into the blood chi. Hua Qinglan, are you okay? Jiang Changkong supported Hua Qinglan and infused his Tai Chi astral power into her to help her heal. I'm fine. Hua Qinglan's body glowed with a dark green light. Her injuries instantly healed, and the star behind her also recovered. This thing is strange. We can't fight it head-on. Everyone gathered together. Come over, Lin Feng shouted. More than 10 martial artists hurriedly gathered in front of Lin Feng. Jiang Changkong, what is this thing? Jin Hansheng shouted. Shut the F***CK up. This isn't my house. I told you to take one thing and leave. There's something wrong with the corpse. You just won't listen. Jiang Changkong roared. If not for the fact that he couldn't beat this group of people, he would definitely kill them. A bunch of B***ers starts. He didn't build this place. Lin Feng's expression was cold. Shut up, Jiang Changkong sneered. Shut up. Didn't you say you can suppress it? Come, suppress one and let me see. Lin Feng, he really couldn't suppress this situation. In a blink, the pinnacle of the astral body exploded and Hua Qinglan was injured. He was on par with Hua Qinglan. What could he use to suppress it? Hua Qinglan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. This thing's attack is too strange. It can't be seen, and there are no fluctuations of astral power. Be careful. You and I should be able to take it down together. Can't see? Jiang Changkong frowned. Could it be that this old guy also knew something like the mind-controlling art? But this was a corpse. Then let's do it. Finish it quickly. Lin Feng shouted. Kill. The two astral warriors attacked at the same time. Terrifying astral power exploded and engulfed the old man. Jiang Changkong, Yao Qing, and the others quickly retreated. They activated the mind-controlling art and swept out. Invisible astral power spread out. Everything around them appeared in their minds. In the air, an invisible force was rushing towards the two of them. Then there was a tearing pain. Even their souls were shaking. They didn't dare to be careless. They hurriedly shouted, Hua Qinglan, your throat. Hua Qinglan's expression froze. Astral power protected his throat. Boom! The astral power shook. Hua Qinglan flew back. This time she was prepared and wasn't injured. Lin Feng's figure flashed and accurately chopped the old man's neck. Clang! Crack! The long sword broke. The violent astral power fell. The old man didn't move. Lin Feng's expression was shocked. He hurriedly flew back. Jiang Changkong rubbed his forehead. It still hurt. Seeing Lin Feng's sword break, he felt a bit hopeless. Can't you take out a better weapon? You're an astral warrior. Is there something wrong with you? The other warriors were also hopeless. Lin Feng, an astral warrior, couldn't break the old man's defense with his full strength? How? How is this possible? Lin Feng still couldn't believe it. His lower grade 9 long sword broke, just like that? I've seen the astral text. The battle palace will collect the corpses of those who left their names. Those corpses were close to gods when they were alive. Also, they could be close to gods. Everyone, the kind that could explode stars with one punch? Chapter 259. He was close to a god and could explode a star with one punch. He was also close to a god in body refinement. Not to mention a low-grade tier 9 sword. Even a top-grade one could not break his defense. Be careful, Lin Feng, your chest, Jiang Changkong shouted hurriedly. Lin Feng could not die now. He was a main combat power to stop the old man. A star appeared on Lin Feng's chest to protect him. Boom! Poochie! Blood sprayed out. Lin Feng flew back and crashed into a few peak astral body martial artists. Hua Qinglan's expression darkened. A basketball-sized dark green star appeared. Buzz! The basketball-sized dark green star did not even break the old man's clothes. It was like a small flame, extinguishing after a flash. We can wait to die. Hua Qinglan took 2 steps back, despair in his eyes. A full power attack could not break his defense. The other astral body martial artists were in complete despair. The astral body martial artists' weapons were broken. A full power attack could not break his defense. What could they use to fight? Yao Qing suddenly said, "How did this corpse move? Is there a way to break it from the inside?" Hua Qinglan's eyes lit up. Star power surged in his palm, and the star appeared again. Changkong, help me keep an eye on it. Jiang Changkong had a splitting headache. Hearing Yao Qing's words, he could not help but be tempted. Would his god-controlling art work? If not, there was still the Tyrant Blade. It could hurt people invisibly and attack from the inside. Thinking of this, Jiang Changkong looked around again. He felt an invisible power and pushed Yao Qing away. Boom! The invisible power passed through where Yao Qing had been standing and hit the stone platform behind him. The stone platform did not move at all and was not damaged. Everyone, hide behind the stone platform. Yao Qing saw this and shouted. Although this old man had a near-divine body, his attack power was only stronger than Hua Qinglan and Lin Feng. It was still within the astral body level. The martial artists quickly hid. At this time, Hua Qinglan's attack had already landed. Boom! The old man's body shook. An extremely strong force exploded, and Hua Qinglan flew out again. No, he has a majestic blood energy in his body. It should be activated by a star array. Hua Qinglan stood up and hid behind a stone platform. Star formation? Jiang Changkong narrowed his eyes. The soul reigning art had already arrived in front of the old man, and the astral power directly drilled into the old man's body. Jiang Changkong clutched his forehead as blood oozed out of his 7 orifices. Blood chi runes appeared in his mind, weaving together. Inside the Stargate, the illusory soul body was very dispirited, becoming faint and unstable. This blood energy could directly harm his soul through the star power of the soul-reigning incantation. What's wrong with you? Mao Shi pressed down on Jiang Changkong's shoulder, and a healing potion appeared in her hand. Soul, recovery, medicine. Jiang Changkong covered his face as blood seeped out. He was in so much pain that he could only make intermittent sounds. Shi hurriedly took out a black herb. Here you go. It's at the peak of the 8th step. Is your soul injured? Jiang Changkong directly swallowed the medicinal herb. Once the medicinal herb entered his body, it instantly turned into a majestic energy that penetrated Stargate and flowed into his soul spirit body. After being replenished, his faint soul immediately stabilized and then soared like a balloon. Jiang Changkong had a headache again. This time, it wasn't because he was injured, but because he was too full. Countless star arrays appeared in his mind, and he compared them with the ones he had detected. An extreme sense of danger struck. Jiang Changkong's heart sank. He didn't dare to delay any longer. The soul-reigning incantation carried the majestic star power and rushed into the old man's body, changing the route of the star array. Buzz! The route of the star array changed. The sense of danger disappeared, and the invisible force suddenly dissipated. Phew, it's all right. Jiang Changkong heaved a sigh of relief. It's all right. Mao Shi looked outside, and her expression suddenly changed. There's a movement. What? Everyone hurriedly looked over. The old man raised his palm, and a terrifying blood energy gathered. A star array appeared in Jiang Changkong's mind, and at the same time, there were corresponding star texts. He was lucky that he could recognize most of them, and it wasn't an attack. They should imprison us, not kill us. Imprisoned? Mao, she was slightly stunned. You know about it? Boom! In an instant, a monstrous blood energy filled the entire third level, and Lin Feng's top star barrier also shattered. Endless blood energy wrapped around them, and a terrifying pressure hit them. Jiang Changkong directly lay on the ground. The other martial artists weren't much better off. They all sat cross-legged and operated their star power to resist the blood energy and pressure around them. And the old man's figure also disappeared. Jiang Changkong breathed heavily. We don't have to die for now. What did you do just now? Mao Shi propped up an astral power barrier for him. Will you be okay if you use your star power? Don't you feel like your head is being pricked by needles? Jiang Changkong frowned. Mao Shi said, You mean the soul, right? Indeed, a little bit, but you can almost resist it when you reach the peak of the astral form. You're too weak. Just now, you used a soul art, right? Such a dense blood energy. It would be strange if it didn't suppress you. This blood energy is so strong that I'm greatly suppressed, and I can't use my combat power. Jiang Changkong, the soul reigning art specialized in cultivating the soul. So, it was also the soul reigning art's fault. You haven't told me yet. What did you do just now? Mao Shi said, I changed the star array inside the body and made it a prison, Jiang Changkong said. You know the star array? Mao Shi was surprised. Jiang Changkong shook his head. I told you that I took the star array, but I don't know much about it. In an emergency, I could only change it to a star array that I know is not dangerous. Then what should we do next? Can you break this array? Mao Shi asked. Jiang Changkong frowned. I can, but do you think we can get out easily? Mao Shi was silent. If they broke the array, the old man would probably come out again. If we break the array, we'll probably be in prison again, right? It's not life-threatening. We can try, Lin Feng said. I'm afraid you forgot about the other bodies, Jiang Changkong said. Then, he closed his eyes and began to rest. You needed soul herbs just now. Was your soul injured? I still have some. Mao Shi took out a herb. Top grade 7. Thanks. Jiang Changkong didn't stand on ceremony. He took the herb and operated the soul reigning art in his body to recover his soul. Hu Qinglan and Lin Feng were both injured. They took healing potions and began to heal. They were all high-level warriors. Except for Jiang Changkong, they were all at the peak astral body. They quickly recovered to their peak state. Jin Hanqing glanced at them and said, Now that we're all trapped here, we can either wait for the Union's rescue or save ourselves. The near gods of the Union aren't here. Unless we wait for a few decades, it's even more impossible to save ourselves. There are more than 100 near-god corpses outside, a warrior said with a frown. Hu Qinglan opened her eyes. Her expression was cold. Tell me, what's your plan? It's very simple. Jin Hanqing looked at Jiang Changkong. His martial arts and star array. Then we'll wait for Changkong to wake up, Hu Qinglan said lightly. Jin Hanqing smiled faintly. I think this life-saving thing should be in our own hands. What do you guys think? The warriors looked at each other and said coldly, I think what Jin Hanqing said makes sense. That's right. It's better to know how to save ourselves. Lin Feng looked at Hu Qinglan. Chapter 260. The celestial warriors of the Federation had all gone on an expedition into space. There was no way anyone would come to save them. They didn't think anyone below the celestial warriors had the ability to save them from here. Hu Qinglan's expression was cold. Has your conscience been eaten by a dog? If it weren't for Changkong, you'd be dead already. Qi Shi, Yao Qing, and Nan's Hawking stood up and surrounded Jiang Changkong. You need to have some conscience. If you want to touch him, ask us first. Lin Feng sneered. With just you? Hua Qinglan's expression darkened. She looked at the three. What about you? You got the inheritance, and now you still want to deal with Chong Kong? The three warriors' expressions were cold. Sorry, we think they're right. Lin Feng stood up straight, his star power surging. He said coldly, Hua Qinglan, you only have 4 people, and we have 17. Hua Qinglan's body shone with green starlight. Lin Feng, you're getting more and more disgusting. If it weren't for Chong Kong, you'd be dead already. Hua Qinglan, don't pretend to be sanctimonious. I don't believe that you're not tempted by Jiang Chongkong's martial arts. Lin Feng sneered. Let's cut the crap. Attack. Kill. Hua Qinglan roared. Green starlight bloomed, but only 1/10 of its power was left. Astral Body warriors were even worse off. In a real battle, their star power could only be 3 meters away from their bodies. Attack. Yao Qing and the other 2 rushed up at the same time. Hua Qinglan alone couldn't stop them. Boom. Star power intertwined. Hua Qinglan, Yao Qing, and the other 2 flew back at the same time. They crashed into the stone platform, blood spraying everywhere. This suppression is not bad. We can also hurt Astral Body warriors. A middle-aged warrior had an excited expression. He stared at Hua Qinglan. You usually ride on our heads and act like a tyrant. Today, we'll get back at you all. And these 3 top forces. If you all die here today, who will know how you died? Lin Feng said coldly, his killing intent boiling. That's right. The suppressive force here is terrifying. Astral bodies have a chance to slaughter astral bodies. Star embryos can also slaughter astral bodies and astral bodies. A faint voice that was suffused with a trace of coldness resounded out. That's right, wait. Jin Hanqing sneered. He suddenly paused and looked in the direction of the voice. Jiang Chongkong, when did you wake up? Jiang Chongkong laughed coldly as his body glowed with a golden light. I haven't fallen asleep at all. I've been watching you all the time to see what you're doing. That's perfect. Tell us all your martial arts, and we can give you a quick death. Lin Feng said indifferently. So many near-godly cultivation techniques, yet you're still unable to satisfy them. Jiang Chongkong allowed a soft sigh, and a brilliant golden light blossomed. A bunch of jackals and wolves who don't know how to repay kindness. I can save you, so I can kill you. Chongkong, Hua Qinglan, and the other 3 hurriedly got up. Just as they were about to say something, Jiang Chongkong had already rushed out. Roar! A roar resounded as 6 power patterns manifested. Jiang Chongkong's body expanded, and the power patterns increased exponentially. A berserk aura and vigorous blood chi shook the surroundings. 3-foot golden body. The brilliant golden light was dazzling, and the power patterns attached to his fist. A punch landed. You're courting death. Jin Hanqing snorted coldly, thrusting out with his sword. Boom! The punch landed, blood chi shook, and golden blood dripped down. Jin Hanqing was directly sent flying, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His fist was cut open, and golden blood dripped down. Jin Hanqing climbed up and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. I'm getting more and more interested in your martial arts. It's a pity that you're too weak. I can instantly recover from this injury. Jiang Chongkong, I advise you to cooperate with us. Otherwise, we can completely dismantle you. Lin Feng sneered. You really think you're that near-godly corpse? Even if we're suppressed, you can't compare to us. Jiang Chongkong's wounds quickly healed. Guys, lend me a weapon and help me delay a few people. Low-grade tier 9, it should suit you. Hua Qinglan took out a long blade. It was of the metal attribute. Still want to struggle? Lin Feng said coldly. Today, I will definitely kill all of you, I promise. Jiang Chongkong's huge body swayed. The power patterns roared, and he attacked again. Idiot, even if you have a low-grade tier 9 weapon, you can't change the truth. Jin Hanqing attacked again, his long sword vibrating. A dark green long sword appeared in Hua Qinglan's hand, and she blocked Lin Feng and the 3 celestial body martial artists at the same time. The other 3 martial artists blocked the other 3 martial artists. The remaining 10 cultivators all surrounded Jiang Chongkong to kill him. Puchi! The sound of a sharp sword piercing into flesh could be heard. Even the defense of the 3-meter golden body could not block a top-grade Tier 8 weapon. But this group of people did not dare to stab the vital parts. They did not dare to kill Jiang Changkong. Before obtaining the star formation in his martial arts, if Jiang Changkong died, they could forget about leaving this place alive. Jin Hansheng stabbed his sword into Jiang Changkong's arm, his expression cold, and was about to retreat. "You can't leave," Jiang Changkong said coldly. 6 power patterns were like golden ropes, trapping Jin Hansheng, and the Tier 9 longsword fell. Jin Hansheng smiled disdainfully, his star power shook, and the long sword blocked the long sword. "You want to kill me like this, bang?" A silver-white light flashed, and a head flew out. "Come, show me how to regenerate broken limbs," Jiang Changkong said coldly, a silver-white, long sword glowing with a cold light. Jin Hansheng's head grew out quickly. Another big head flew out, golden blood rolled down, fusing into the blood energy, and some of it splashed on Jiang Changkong's face. "Continue. Let me see how many heads you have." Pucci. The long sword kept rushing into his body, and there were many more wounds on Jiang Changkong's body, golden blood dripping continuously. Jiang Changkong did not seem to feel anything, and let the long sword tear through his defense and pierce into his body. The silver-white long sword continued to slash, chopping off one head after another. The silver you guys swayed, glowing with a cold light. "There's something wrong with that sword," a martial artist shouted angrily, and leaped forward, his long sword slashing at Jiang Changkong's right hand that was holding the sword. Roar! The power pattern roared, and the headless Jin Hansheng blocked in front of him. Pucci! The long sword pierced through Jin Hansheng's body, and the martial artist's face turned cold. The power pattern wrapped around the martial artist, and the silver-white light fell again. 2 heads flew up. Jiang Changkong grinned, golden blood gushing out his mouth. "Another one. Let me see how many more there are." "He's a F***king lunatic." The martial artists at the back were shocked and angry. They had lost count of how many times they had stabbed. Although they would not kill Jiang Changkong, wouldn't it hurt? "Throw them over. I can suppress the weak ones," Hua Qinglan shouted. Jiang Changkong did not hesitate, and directly threw the 2 over. The golden power pattern turned and rushed towards the other martial artists. "Don't hesitate. Suppress them directly. Just leave them alive," a martial artist shouted angrily. "If I don't expose myself, I can only try." Jiang Changkong sighed and put his essence, qi, and spirit on the high-tier, low-grade battle body star diagram. Boom! In an instant, thousands of star diagrams floated in his mind, and all kinds of wonders surged into his mind. Roar! The 6 power patterns vibrated and actually retracted rapidly, wrapping around the surface of Jiang Changkong's body. The terrifying power and dense blood qi shook the surroundings. The surging blood qi in the surroundings crazily poured into Jiang Changkong's body. Roar! Another strange roar came from the 2nd floor of the palace. The corpses that should have been dead once again let out the power pattern roar. Chapter 261. Roar! The power patterns roared, and the 3-story palace shook. Blood energy surged in the surroundings. Countless ripples spread out from the star formation formed by his blood qi. A tyrannical suppressive force swept over, and one by one, the celestial body martial artists fell to the ground. Hua Qinglan and Lin Feng, the 2-star body warriors, also gave up fighting. They quickly sat down and circulated star power to resist the pressure. Pucci! Blood splattered everywhere, and the 2 stellar bodies quickly retracted their astral force. They looked at Jiang Changkong, who was shrouded in blood qi, in horror. "I knew this kid was up to no good." Lin Feng stared at the blood energy. 6 power patterns crisscrossed and pulled the blood energy around to form a mysterious star array. Roar! The 6 power patterns intertwined and roared. The star embryo in Jiang Changkong's body released a vast amount of blood energy. It merged into the power patterns and intertwined. Invisible force, silent force, blood energy subdues evil, shatters the void, Ancient star runes appeared, and all kinds of profound meanings appeared in Jiang Changkong's mind. Star body, or battle body. Earth star body was called battle body by the battle palace. Star body warriors formed the most basic star body. Star body warriors formed a higher level star body and completely changed their body. The so-called celestial scripture fragments in the battle palace were the star bodies of body refinement warriors, also known as the force pattern battle body. And these star arrays were formed by the profound meaning of stars and the cultivation of the Tao. According to the information in his mind, this was information that top warriors could only come into contact with Star Path. It was just that after many years of development and evolution, these profound meanings were constantly simplified and weakened so that the star embryo and star body could bear it. This was also the secret of the star bodies of the top forces. The reason why those geniuses could cultivate a part of the star body was because they used their bodies to bear the incomplete star array route. The power patterns ran through the body and merged into every inch of flesh and blood. A vast amount of blood energy fused into the power patterns and formed a complete star body. The force pattern battle body, after the Shang, could explode the star with one punch and take the sun and moon with one palm. The star embryo level force pattern battle body was only the most basic, but it was enough. This was the battle palace, the place where the star arrays gathered. If one cultivated the force pattern battle body and knew about the star arrays, they could do whatever they wanted here. Countless insights emerged in Jiang Changkong's mind. It was not just a star array. High-tier, low-grade battle physique star array was made up of hundreds and thousands of star arrays. What he understood was the profound meaning of these star arrays. As long as he didn't seek his own death by randomly changing the star arrays here, he would be able to pass through unimpeded. Moreover, with the cohesive rune battle physique, this place would no longer suppress him. After figuring it out, Jiang Changkong realized what kind of treasure he had obtained. It was more useful than any of the near-divine arts here. What he lacked was the method to cultivate his battle physique. Rumble. The palace shook violently. That strange roar came again, and it was getting closer and closer. What's that? Hua Qinglan looked at the entrance and exclaimed. Its body was several zhang thick, and it had a divine dragon head formed from blood energy. Its eyes were blood red, and it had no claws on its body. Force pattern, Lin Feng and the rest turned pale. This power pattern was much bigger than Jiang Changkong's. Jiang Changkong's was only as thick as an arm, but this power pattern was several zhang long. Wherever the divine dragon passed by, blood and qi surged. The terrifying pressure made Lin Feng and Hua Qinglan, the two-star martial artists, prostrate. Crack! The sound of bones cracking rang out. The peak star body warriors couldn't bear this pressure, and all the bones in their bodies were shattering. The divine dragon came to Jiang Changkong's side and opened its mouth. An invisible force flew out, and the blood energy in the surroundings was forcibly poured into Jiang Changkong's body. A mysterious star pattern emitted dazzling golden light. It flew out of the power pattern and imprinted between Jiang Changkong's eyebrows. After that, the divine dragon disappeared. The martial artists didn't even know how it disappeared. The palace stopped shaking, and the pressure disappeared. The group of people panted heavily. When a golden star pattern entered his body, Jiang Changkong's star embryo seemed to have sensed it and started to shake violently. The star pattern rushed into his dantian, entered the stargate, and imprinted between the star embryo's eyebrows. Buzz! As the star pattern entered his body, the changes in Jiang Changkong's body suddenly accelerated. The structure of the star array was almost completed in the blink of an eye. The 6 power patterns seemed to be stimulated, and the structure also sped up. The star pattern between the eyebrows of the star embryo quickly absorbed the blood energy outside into his body and transformed it into energy for the structure of the star array. In one breath, Jiang Changkong's star array was more than half completed. Hua Qinglan and the others looked at Jiang Changkong seriously. At the same time, they took medicine to recover from their injuries. What do you think Jiang Changkong got just now? Lin Feng's eyes were cold. You're still thinking about this at this time. Aren't you afraid that the power pattern will kill you? Wu Qinglan said coldly. That power pattern should also be driven by the star array. What Jiang Chongkong got should be the same as what you got, an inheritance close to a god. Lin Feng calmly analyzed. His cultivation method should have attracted the body close to a god. That's why he got such an opportunity. In that case, he also took two things, a martial artist said. It's all because of you. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be trapped here, Yao Qing said coldly. Lin Feng said coldly, all right, shut up. We've already fought just now. Recover from your injuries. This time, remember clearly. Just leave a breath. The blood energy dissipated, and the 30-meter golden body disappeared. Jiang Changkong's body returned to normal size. The star array had been completed, but he did not wake up. Instead, he was sorting out the information about the star array and stabilizing his cultivation. The star array he had constructed was completely different from the one in his mind. It was the most suitable one for him, just like his cultivation method. His ability to upgrade could change martial arts to be suitable for him. The same was true for this star array. Even if he gave this star array to another body practitioner, they would only be able to create an ordinary star array, which was far inferior to him. There was another gate in his dantian. It was the stargate of the Tao of power pattern arrays. His star power also increased. There's no translation for these star words. In Jiang Changkong's mind, a large number of star words were not translated. He did not have the ability to do so. All of his understanding of formations and his understanding of formations were brought about by leveling up. He understood all the arrays, but he did not understand the introduction of star words. As time passed, countless mysterious lines appeared on Jiang Changkong's skin. They glowed and resonated with the star array on the ground. Star array. Lin Feng and the others looked at Jiang Changkong in surprise. Moreover, it was a complete star array. He stepped into the star body realm. Jin Hansheng was also shocked. No, his aura is still in the star embryo realm. He has not stepped into the star body realm. Lin Feng thought carefully and figured out the key point. That power pattern only helped him condense a star array. It is not the real star body realm. I see. It's just that one more star array can't change the fact, Jin Hansheng said coldly. Just now, he had broken away from Hua Qinglan suppression and regrown his head. Jiang Changkong slowly opened his eyes and looked at Jin Hansheng. A smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Regrown your head? Kid, we won't hold back this time. Lin Feng stood up, and a golden star appeared behind him. The rest of the martial artists also slowly stood up. The bones crushed by the power pattern had all recovered. This was a star body martial artist. They could be called an unkillable cockroach. Jiang Changkong grinned. I've decided to send all of you to hell. Kill. Everyone shouted coldly and rushed forward. Chapter 262. Changkong, watch out. Wu Qinglan and the other three hurriedly took action. However, a blood barrier rose up and isolated them. Haha, it seems that I can't help you here. Take him down. Lin Feng sneered, and the astral power shrouded him. Now it's my turn to open the array. Jiang Changkong smiled, and an invisible force spread out. The third floor of the palace shook again. The star array on the ground glowed with a thick blood light, and Jiang Changkong suddenly disappeared. Boom! The astral power fell and stirred up the blood, but none of it touched Jiang Changkong. What's going on? Many martial artists looked at Jiang Changkong in surprise. There was nothing there. Behind, Lin Feng's expression changed, and he punched behind him. Clang! It was as if he had struck a copper bell, and an extremely powerful rebounding force spread out, acting on his arm. Puff! Lin Feng's body trembled, and his chest caved in. Blood spilled out, and he stepped back in horror. Did you become that corpse? I can explain it to you. The Tao of force is invisible. Jiang Changkong's eyes were full of coldness. Thank you so much for letting me understand the star array at the critical moment. Kill him. We have so many people. Surround him. Jin Hansheng shouted angrily. No matter how strong he is just a star fetus. He can't kill us. Lin Feng let out a cold roar, once again pouncing over. Jiang Changkong's eyes glowed with bright golden light like two suns. You are too naive. As soon as he said that, the bright golden light was dazzling and countless golden and red patterns appeared around him. Boom! Blood surged and the star array on the ground bloomed with bloodlight. All the martial artists who rushed over were sent flying. Crack! Puff! Bones were broken and blood was splashing. All kinds of sounds were heard. Astral power. You can use astral power? Many martial artists exclaimed in horror. That dazzling golden light was completely made up of astral force, although it was also mixed with an invisible force. I could transform it. Do you want to try? Jiang Changkong smiled faintly as he infused his golden body's astral energy into the starry array. With the help of the condensed celestial body, the body refinement star power could be unleashed invisibly. He, on the other hand, could transform all the martial arts into the star force of one martial art. If he used his full strength, he could completely suppress this group of people and beat them up. Celestial body? Stars? Being suppressed into a weakling here, other than having a strong recovery ability and endurance, there was nothing else he could do. Boom, boom. Invisible energy constantly fell on the bodies of many martial artists, shattering their bones and shaking their internal organs. Bang, bang. One by one, the martial artists landed. An invisible force enveloped them, firmly suppressing them. Jiang Changkong waved his hand, and a streak of golden light poured into the star array on the floor. Buzz! The star formation shook and released countless wisps of blood energy that bound them to the ground like ropes. That's much better. Jiang Changkong held the moon sword and walked towards Lin Feng step by step. What do you want? Lin Feng shook his head in horror. He kept activating his star force, but he couldn't break free. Don't worry. I'm just here to confirm whether this sword can tear the defense of the stars. Jiang Changkong pressed Lin Feng's head and slashed the tip of the sword without using any force. Dong dong. A head rolled out. The sharpness of the sword was completely beyond Jiang Changkong's imagination. A top-level weapon. That's a top-level weapon. The martial artists shouted in horror. Cutting their heads with a top-level weapon would definitely kill them one by one. Jin Hanqing's body was shaking. He had been cut more than once. The sword was so sharp that he couldn't even feel the pain. Hua Qinglan, who was isolated, said in shock, "A top-level weapon? That's not a top-level weapon. It should be a fragment of a top-level weapon, Jiang Changyue's sword." Mo, she opened her eyes and explained, Jiang Changyue has a moon sword, which is a top-level 6th rank weapon. But he has a sword tip that can easily cut high-level materials. I see. Hua Qinglan came to a realization and said, a fragment of a top-level weapon is not bad. Yes, but it's not complete. Mo, she had a look of pity. If it was a complete top-level weapon, just the power it released would be able to kill a normal star. Dong dong. The head rolled again and blood splattered out. The golden blood lit up the surroundings. Jiang Changkong kept his sword and continued to cut off heads one after another. Jiang Changkong, I admit my mistake. Let me go. After we get out, I won't find trouble with you. Jiang Changkong, from now on, you are my big brother, my biological big brother. After we get out, what's mine is yours. Let me go. I was wrong. I shouldn't have bitten the hand that fed me. I shouldn't have attacked you. The martial artists went crazy. A few of them almost had a mental breakdown. It was too scary. This was a real lunatic. Lin Feng, who was at the star level, was continuously being cut off. If this continued, he would definitely be cut to death. No matter how strong one's recovery ability was, there would always be a limit. If Lin Feng died, it would be their turn. Jiang Changkong turned a deaf ear to their words. Actually, he had a better way, but it would expose his identity. For example, the Tyrant Blade. He felt that the Tyrant Blade was specially created to kill such high-level martial artists. They would be smashed into powder from the inside. No matter how heaven-defying their recovery ability was, they would be turned into ashes. Could they recover? Of course, the difference in strength was too great. The Tyrant Blade would at most severely injure them internally. But now, it was suppressed to this extent. If the tyrant blade went down, he would definitely kill one of them in 3 strikes. He could have used the tyrant blade to deal with the corpse earlier, but he didn't and chose the god-controlling art. Now, he wouldn't use it either. Jiang Changyue, continue to be friends. This wasn't the time for the two of you to become one. Jiang Changkong and Jiang Changyue were already monstrous enough when they were separated. If they became one, the entire Federation would probably explode. As for him, he didn't have invincible strength yet. Who knew what would happen if word got out? The rolling heads eventually turned into astral power and dissipated. Another head rolled out, and Jiang Changkong felt like he could smell the stench of urine. The cultivators' faces were pale, and their bodies were trembling. Jiang Changkong said disdainfully, "Astral body martial artists, do you only have this much courage? Don't. You have to kill me. I'll listen to you in the future. I'll listen to you. I'll serve you as my master in the future. If you want me to catch a dog, I won't catch a chicken. If you want me to go east, I won't go west." The martial artists closed their eyes and shouted in fear. Jiang Changkong chuckled and said, "Don't be like this. As a high-level martial artist, you have to have some dignity. It's okay. I'm very fast. You won't feel any pain. Look, Lin Feng doesn't even complain." The astral body martial artists were even more afraid. Jin Hansheng was the most afraid and didn't dare to say a word. Lin Feng didn't complain? Could he call out? His head was cut off as soon as it grew out. How could he complain? Jiang Changkong said to himself, "I'm a person who keeps his promises. If I say I'll kill you, I'll kill you. Unless those corpses ran out and saved you, or a celestial being came or something." But the celestial being of the Federation wasn't here. With the current situation in the palace, the top martial artist below the celestial being level would probably be buried here. Jiang Changkong also knew about the power pattern that was several feet thick. He wanted to change the formation to block it, but he didn't feel any danger and trusted his 5 senses. He felt that there was something wrong with that corpse. The power pattern could still move even after death. Only a celestial being would be able to find out the secret of that corpse. If there was danger then, he would have taken out the tricolored stone bead. It was left behind by that corpse, so there wouldn't be any accidents. Chapter 263. Following the rolling of the head, Lin Feng's aura weakened from its previously powerful state. Heads fell one after another. As his life aura weakened, the other martial artists became more and more terrified. Jiang Changkong felt that if he continued like this, he might drive a few people crazy. It wasn't that their mental endurance was weak, but that Lin Feng, whom Jiang Changkong had chosen, was one of the 2 strongest among them. It was impossible for them not to panic when a stellar-level Lin Feng was cut up like this. Hua Qinglan and the other 3 were isolated. They were also heavily suppressed. It was impossible for them to break through the defense. "Changkong, let us come over. How long are you going to keep cutting like this?" Hua Qinglan said. They couldn't watch anymore. This scene was too terrifying, even though they were used to killing and had killed many people. But they had never seen such a thing. Heads grew out, were cut off, grew out, and cut off again. If it was anyone else, they wouldn't be able to take it. "I actually forgot that you're a stellar-level expert." Jiang Changkong didn't stop. "Then come and help me. Kill them as soon as possible." Hua Qinglan's mouth twitched. "You really want to kill them all? I'm a person who keeps his promises." Jiang Changkong said expressionlessly, "Besides, if I don't kill them, do you think they'll let me go after we get out? They might be so scared now, saying that they would worship him as their master. If they really got out and didn't have the star formation suppression, things would be completely different. These people would definitely turn against him and think of a way to kill him. Even if Hua Qinglan was willing to protect him, she couldn't always. The best way was to keep his word and kill all of them." Yao Qing frowned slightly. "If these people die, the Federation will lose many high-level martial artists." "Brother Yao Qing, we're all adults," Jiang Changkong said in a low voice. "Don't be so naive." Hua Qinglan's eyes lit up. "You know how to get out? It should be fine," Jiang Changkong said. Hearing this, Hua Qinglan's expression darkened. "After we get out, just say that the corpses killed them. Didn't Changkong master invisible power? Although this attack is strange, I can still sense it if I calm down." Jiang Changkong said. If he could face it calmly, Even if he couldn't sense that power, he would still be able to sense the danger. Previously, everyone present was scared out of their wits. Jiang Changkong didn't know, so he could only use the soul-controlling art to sense it. Now that he had mastered this technique and condensed a celestial body, he didn't feel anything. The four of them rolled their eyes. You've learned it, so of course you don't think it's a big deal. After we get out, you can use this power to injure us. We don't want to be treated. We'll bring our injuries back and let the Federation do some research on us. Hua Qinglan said faintly. Push everything to the corpses. Leave the rest to us. All right. Jiang Changkong nodded. He activated the formation and dispersed the isolated blood qi. Hua Qinglan, Yao Qing, this is murder. Can you face the Federation? Jin Hansheng shook his head violently as he cried out in terror. Although Hua Qinglan and the others were greatly suppressed, the quality of their star power and their means were far superior to Jiang Changkong's. Jiang Changkong could only rely on the tip of his sword, but Hua Qinglan and the others could kill them with their bare hands. Leave this one alive. I'll kill him myself. Jiang Changkong pointed at Jin Hansheng. Hua Qinglan nodded and came in front of an astral body martial artist. She bent her fingers and pressed on the martial artist's head. Don't kill me. We're all working for the Federation. With a bang, his head exploded. The green starlight entered his body and cut off all his vitality. Hua Qinglan's 5 fingers extended out 5 green lights. Like vines, they pierced into the bodies of the 5 astral body martial artists. Jiang Changkong could clearly sense that the vitality of the 5 astral body martial artists was weakening. Moreover, this weakening speed was terrifying. In a few breaths, the peak astral body martial artist vitality dissipated and they turned into corpses. Devouring vitality? Jiang Changkong was slightly surprised. Hua Qinglan nodded. The wood element's healing ability is very strong. The devouring of vitality is also very strong. Jiang Changkong thought of his holy sun art. It could illuminate all things, nourish and kill. It was similar to Hua Qinglan. Should I try using the city holy sun art? Forget it. I've already shown enough. It's better to hide it. Moreover, Hua Qinglan was fast enough. Yao Qing and the other 2 were also peak astral body martial artists. They had many methods to kill people of the same level, but they were slower than Hua Qinglan. Jiang Changkong continued to chop Lin Feng. A few minutes later, except for Jin Hansheng, who still had a breath left, and Lin Feng, who was being chopped by Jiang Changkong, the other martial artists were all dead. There was no sign of life. They were all dead. Why don't you do it? Jiang Changkong chopped off another head. It was still not dead. This time, he used a lot of strength. The tip of the sword easily pierced into the floor and was easily pulled out. Forget it. I'll continue chopping first. No need. He can still take 5 more slashes. I'll cultivate first. I'm a little full. After Hua Qinglan finished speaking, she sat down cross-legged. Her body emitted a dark green light. Full. Jiang Changkong was slightly taken aback. I don't know. Yao Qing and the other 2 shook their heads. They didn't know either. Jiang Changkong continued to chop Lin Feng. After the 5th slash, this astral body martial artist was finally dead. Then, it was Jin Hansheng. Don't kill me, Poochie. Jiang Changkong directly slashed down and picked up a head. 23 people. Excluding these 4, there were still 19 left. Of course, what Jiang Changkong was talking about was the spatial equipment. The spatial equipment of the martial artist killed by the corpse was still there. There were star stones and star crystals inside. I'm rich. Jiang Changkong was excited. At this time, he finally had time to check his own data. Jiang Changkong, late-stage astral embryo high-tier low-grade martial art, 3-foot golden body. Deshang 1/1800000 Taiji Yin-Yang art. Deshang 1/1800000 Overlord blade. Deshang 1/1800000 Holy Sun art. Deshang 1/1800000 God controlling art. Deshang 1/1800000 Bright Moon art. Deshang 1/1800000 White Cloud 9-layered sutra. Deshang 1/1800000 high tier, low grade array. Battle body star formation. Incomplete Deshang 1/1800000 essence. Energy and spirit. 141155. For according to his current strength, he should be comparable to the early stage astral body. Previously, he barely had the destructive power of the early stage astral body. Hu Qinglan woke up and looked at Jiang Changkong. Can we leave now? Yes. Jiang Changkong stood up. He didn't want to stay any longer. The four stood up, and Yao Qing asked, how do we get out? Of course with this. Jiang Changkong waved the Taiji Yin's sword in his hand. How do we get out? The four frowned and asked in confusion. Open a hole and get out. Jiang Changkong walked to the wall of the third floor. If you open a hole here, he should be able to get out directly. That way, he wouldn't have to expose the tricolored stone bead. Don't joke around. Although your sword is powerful, this is a place where only near gods can leave their names. Yao Qing shook her head and smiled. But before she could finish, she choked. A stone had been cut off by Jiang Changkong. He really cut off. This is a weapon fragment of near gods, right? Hu Qinglan was also shocked. Where did you get the tip of your sword? Changwei picked it up. Don't think about it. Jiang Changkong looked at her warily. Otherwise, I won't be polite. Hu Qinglan said indifferently. Don't worry. If it was whole, I might be jealous. Forget about fragments. By the way, do you want to leave your names? There will be something to collect your corpse after you die. Jiang Changkong winked. Yao Qing and the other two said unhappily, to hell with it. I don't want to. You're cursing us. Hu Qinglan's eyes flashed. Carve my name. It's an honor to be able to leave my name here. I'll leave one too. Jiang Changkong, carve his name. This is great. If I die one day, there will be something to collect my corpse. My corpse won't be exposed in the wilderness. Chapter 264. Hu Qinglan Jiang Changkong. Jiang Changkong engraved the names in star script. They were quite good. Do you want to write down your deeds or something? Let's go. What deeds? Let's leave this place first, Yao Qing urged. They didn't want to stay here anymore. It was too scary. Who knew if the corpse would crawl up again and kill them? Jiang Changkong spun the sword quickly. Stone chips flew everywhere, and a hole was gradually revealed. You're too slow. Let me do it, Lao Shi said. She was a cultivator of the lunar astral power. This sword was more suitable for her. Jiang Changkong thought for a moment and handed the sword to her. It's only at the peak of the 6th level. It can't bear your astral power. Lao Shi smiled. As long as the tip can. Don't worry about my mastery of the lunar astral power. Jiang Changkong didn't say anything else. Lao Shi poured her astral power into the tip of the sword and activated the lunar astral power inside. Instantly, a sword intent that could cut through the heavens and earth erupted. A terrifying chill filled the air. Even Jiang Changkong shivered. Yao Qing, Nan Zhaokong, and Hu Qinglan also shivered. The tip of the sword vibrated and pierced into the hole. Boom! With a loud bang, the hole expanded rapidly. In an instant, a round hole half the size of a person appeared. Bloody light flashed outside, and thick blood energy rushed in. Let's go. Lao Shi returned the lunar sword to him. I'll need to rely on you after we get out. Don't worry. Rumble. As soon as Jiang Changkong spoke, the blood-colored palace shook again. An invisible pressure swept out. Roar. The power rune howl appeared again. The expressions of all 5 changed. Let's go. That thing is coming, Hu Qinglan shouted urgently. Jiang Changkong didn't dare to hesitate. He was the first to get out of the hole and leave the palace. The other 4 followed closely. Golden patterns appeared on Jiang Changkong's body, and he shone with golden light. Blood energy, activate the formation, power rune battle physique. Jiang Changkong shouted. The astral body opened, and countless patterns appeared. 6 power runes appeared again, forming a mysterious star formation. The star formation enveloped the 5. Ignoring the surrounding blood energy and pressure, they shot into the sky. Roar! Li Wen's roar became louder and louder, shaking the heavens and earth. The surrounding space was shattering. Faster, Faster, Hu Qinglan urged. Yao Qing and the other two looked nervous as they grabbed onto Jiang Chongkong tightly. Their nails broke through his defense and pierced into his flesh. You don't have to be so scared, right? Jiang Chongkong looked at him speechlessly. This time, he didn't feel any danger. However, what was going on just now? Why did the power pattern suddenly shout again? Previously, it could be said that he wanted to condense the rune battle body and activate the power rune. But just now, they had only released the power of the moon star, Jiang Dao. A thought flashed through Jiang Chongkong's mind. Back then, the three great palaces and the lunar sword tip. Could it be related to the lunar palace? Was the broken moon sword located in the moon palace? As he pondered, Jiang Chongkong put away the extreme Yin sword. The pressure started to weaken. The floating blood chi and the condensed star formation were fusing into the palace. It's okay. Hu Qinglan heaved a sigh of relief. That thing didn't chase after us. All right, everything's fine now. Hu Qinglan heaved a sigh of relief. That thing didn't chase after us. Jiang Chongkong nodded his head. They had already reached the barrier of Sin Domain. The four of them rushed out. The pressure disappeared, and the star power recovered. The four of them dashed out. The pressure around them dissipated, and their astral powers were restored. The blood chi had returned to the palace. Above the blood chi palace, a martial artist stood with his hands behind his back, looking up at him. The blood chi had already returned to the palace. A martial artist stood on the blood chi palace with his hands clasped behind his back, looking up at him. He knew this martial artist. He was the one who left behind the tricolored stone bead. Chongkong, hurry up and come up. What are you looking at? Holy shit, he ran out. Yao Qing saw that he was in a daze. She followed his gaze and was immediately stunned. Chongkong, come up quickly. What are you looking at? Damn, you're in out? Yao Qing saw him in a daze. He followed his gaze and was stunned. Yao Qing saw him in a daze and followed his gaze. Facing such an existence, they did not feel safe even if they were not suppressed. Even if it was dead, they would not be able to shake it. What's more, it had come back to life and looked at them. The martial artist on top of the palace looked at Jiang Chongkong. Jiang Chongkong looked back at him. He did not run. After being targeted by this thing, no one would be able to escape unless they were close to God. Drops of cold sweat dripped from his forehead. At this moment, Jiang Chongkong was also panicking. He could clearly feel that this guy was staring at him, not Hu Qinglan and the other three. We did not take the second one. Yao Qing's lips trembled as he murmured. After an unknown period of time, the martial artist on top of the palace suddenly raised his hand and waved. What is this? Hu Qinglan was puzzled. Is this a farewell? Should we return the favor? Nan Zhaokong's face twitched. Give me a reply. It's not strange to be polite. You said yourself. Yao Qing quickly raised his hand and returned the favor. All right, I'll give it a try. Jiang Chongkong raised his right hand and waved, hoping that it was really a farewell. Boom! After waving his hand, the void behind the martial artist suddenly cracked open. The blood palace shook and rushed into the spatial crack with the martial artist. The blood palace disappeared, and the spatial crack was also wiped clean. There was not a trace of blood left, and the world became clear again. What are the five of you doing? Where are the others? A confused voice came, alerting the five. Yao Qing shuddered and looked at the person who had come. She waved her hand and slapped him. And Shanha, can you be quieter? You scare me to death. Hu Qinglan was also shocked. Slap him a few more times. And Shanha, who did I offend? Why did you hit me? And Shanha, go to the warship and arrange a room. Don't let anyone disturb you. Turn off all the surveillance. Immediately, Hu Qinglan said. Yao Qing let go, and Shanha's expression was solemn. Yes, sir. And Shanha left through the air. Hu Qinglan said in a low voice, Come, do it. Use all your strength. Jiang Chongkong nodded, and an invisible force landed on the four of them. Puff. Yao Qing and the other two vomited blood. Give us some time to prepare and give us some hints. Where do you want to hit? Hu Qinglan said, All right, cut the crap. Chongkong, use this ability in a few months. Say that you comprehended it. Jiang Chongkong nodded. Okay. The five of them left together and went to the warship. The black warship, the Sin Realm, and the geniuses were all inside. And Shanha prepared a room. After the 5 of them entered, he locked the door. "It's safe now. Let's talk." Hua Qinglan sat down and heaved a sigh of relief. Yao Qing and the other 2 collapsed in their chairs. "I never want to go there again in my life. It's too scary. I still want to go, but if I do, I have to bring Chong Kong." Hua Qinglan looked at Jiang Chongkong. If not for Jiang Chongkong, none of them would have made it out. "I don't want to go." Jiang Chongkong lay on the table and said weakly, "I was lucky this time. I comprehended the star array in time. The star array you obtained is more useful inside than the inheritances we obtained," Hua Qinglan said. "There are so many inheritances. Aren't you tempted, Chong Kong?" "What's the use of being tempted? I've already taken 1 item. If that corpse didn't come back to life, we could have taken more." Jiang Chongkong curled his lips. If that corpse didn't come back to life, he could empty the blood palace. "When I killed them before, I used a technique from the inheritances. If I can completely convert it, I can take their lives instantly," Hua Qinglan said. "It can absorb vitality and greatly heal injuries. This technique is very powerful. Soon, I'll reach the mid-stage of the star realm. The one we obtained is also very powerful. My initial estimate is that it's even more powerful than the techniques of our clans," Yao Qing and the other 3 said. "Are you trying to make me jealous?" Jiang Chongkong curled his lips. "Without you, we wouldn't have obtained these inheritances. I'm just telling you to look for me when you go to the Void Realm. This is my contact information." Hua Qinglan smiled slightly. "If you need anything in the future, just look for the Nung family. Look for the Nung family. Just look for the Nung family. They're too busy. We have free time," Nan Xiaokong said. Jiang Chongkong narrowed his eyes. "I know what you're up to. You can't take it, but your family can." The 4 of them laughed dryly and did not refute. Based on their experience, nothing would happen if they listened to Jiang Chongkong the whole time. Moreover, even if something happened, Jiang Chongkong could come out after changing the star array. Jiang Chongkong was like the key to the treasure. With him, they could open the treasure if they found it. "Okay, if you can find the palace, I'll go with you again." Jiang Chongkong smiled faintly. He also had many unanswered questions in his mind, but he did not think that those people could easily find it. Chapter 265. They were able to find the Scarlet Palace this time because of the Sin domain. The most important point was that the palace did not explode with too much power. Jiang Chongkong estimated that the Scarlet Palace itself, other than the problem of the materials, did not have too much terrifying power. What was truly terrifying was the 100 or so near-god corpses. Once those corpses crawled out, no one could guarantee that they could escape unscathed, not even near God. Did you guys notice a problem? The corpse that appeared at the end was a little different. Hua Qinglan said, "He actually waved goodbye to Chongkong." "I think he waved goodbye to us," Jiang Chongkong said. "We don't have that kind of reputation," Yao Qing said. After a pause, her voice became solemn. "Don't you guys find it strange? They shouldn't be from Earth. They were all scattered from stars. Even if they are from Earth, they are not from the current Earth. You're wondering why they waved goodbye?" Hua Qinglan's expression also became solemn. One explanation is that they have been here for a long time. Either they are learning or they're prying into our memories. Jiang Chongkong said indifferently, "There's no point in discussing these things. Shouldn't you guys express something? I got the near God's inheritance, but what about my benefits? If you guys want to go again, don't you know how to give me some benefits? You've also gained a lot. When you go to the Void Realm, I'll give you a good territory," Yao Qing said. Hua Qinglan thought about it and said, 2 peak level 8 mechas and 3 peak level 7 mechas. "I can get them for you." Xieshi said, "We can get you some peak level 7 mechas, but not many." "Sure. All right, weapon materials. Previously, your juniors promised me to get me low-grade peak level 7 mechas. You guys can upgrade them." Jiang Chongkong pondered and said, "No matter what, it should be peak level 8 or something. I won't trouble you guys with peak level 9 mechas. You guys can't get them anyway." The strongest Hua Qinglan was only in the early stage of Starbody. As for counting on the 3 families, they gave him mechas, territory, and peak level 9 mechas. That was impossible. The 3 families were not fools. If it weren't for the fact that they still wanted to go, they could have just left and ignored him. All right, leave your and Jiang Changyue's weapons to us. The three of them agreed. Hu Qinglan smiled and said, then I'll do something for you. Wang Ruiqing and the rest don't need to hide. I'll clear their crimes. Thank you. Jiang Changkong cupped his hands. Hu Qinglan was one of the higher-ups of the Federation. It was expected that she had such capabilities. Next, the few of them started to discuss how they should keep the matter of the god's legacy a secret and not expose it. If the inheritance of a near god were to be exposed, it would cause a huge commotion. Moreover, people were selfish. They all wanted to take it for themselves and did not want to share. He hid the inheritance of the near god, only saying that there was a formation inside and that there were corpses that could move. Jiang Changkong only brought them out after comprehending the array formation. After finishing their conversation, Jiang Changkong left the room. They discussed as they should. Finding the blood-colored palace was what they had to do. Jiang Changkong only needed to wait for them to find it. If possible, he also wanted to bring people in. He did not need the near-god cultivation method, but his friends did. Near-god cultivation methods were the top cultivation methods of the Federation and the treasures of the top forces. Moreover, some of the big forces did not have near-god cultivation methods. If they had top martial artists, they could be called big forces. Near-god was the top, the ceiling of earth. Jiang Changkong left the room and came in front of the geniuses. Han Shuiyue was the first to walk out. Miser, what happened inside? Go ask your mother. Jiang Changkong said indifferently. I came to look for you because I have an official matter. Han Shuiyue pouted and snorted in dissatisfaction. You just barged into the palace with my mother, and now you're acting like my elder. Nan Wuyang also walked over. Let's listen to Changkong's matter. Everyone pay attention. Send orders wholesale. Does anyone want to buy? 6th grade star stones, 7th grade star stones, and star crystals are all fine. Jiang Changkong shouted. If you miss this opportunity, there won't be another one. Everyone wants face. Think about the rewards for 2nd and 3rd place. The 1st place would definitely be mine. This group of people could forget about it. The harvest this time was really generous. Not only had he stepped into the late stage of Star Embryo, he had also obtained a collection of 19 high-level martial artists. No, it was 21, and there were 2 from the Immortal Palace. The Starstones of the Sin Domain were also his. This time, he would definitely step into the 8th grade. Han Shuyu, I knew it. Nothing good came out of this place. Nan Wuyang was dumbfounded. There was such a thing? You guys, it's too slow to sell them one by one. Directly sell them to the 2nd and 3rd place. You can write promissory notes. Jiang Changkong said calmly. The promissory notes from before are invalid. Don't worry, someone will pay for you. Someone will pay for us. You even cheated high-level martial artists? What exactly happened in the blood-colored palace? Why are only the 5 of you back? It's fine that you came back, but you even helped us pay for the debt? They deeply suspected that Jiang Changkong had done something shameful inside. Don't just stand there. The lowest is 10,000 top-grade 6th grade starstones. Bid. Jiang Changkong looked at the dazed crowd and urged them with dissatisfaction. Everyone, we suddenly don't want to buy anymore. What should we do? The 2nd and 3rd places were bought. What face do we have? The prodigies were very depressed, but they didn't buy. Someone else did. I bid 10,000 low-grade 6th grade star stones for 3rd place. Student Sha Jingma has made a bid. Is there a higher bid? Is there a higher bid? Jiang Changkong looked at the person who made the bid with satisfaction. He knew Sha Jingma, and it was an acquaintance who gave him face. I bid 100 more. I bid 200 more. Hearing the bid, Jiang Changkong looked at Han Shuiyue. You are prodigies. If you can't get a ranking, how embarrassing will it be? It'll be even more embarrassing. Han Shuiyue snorted coldly and said, We have our own pride. We will fight for it with our own ability. Nan Wuyang sighed. Leave us some dignity. Jiang Changkong, you rich 2nd-generation heirs don't squander it all. Bad review. Look at Nan Tianpang's group. Back then, they had even bought a slot to distort the land. In the end, Jiang Changkong's 2 slots didn't sell for a high price. The 3rd place 25,000 top-grade 6th-grade star stones. The second place, 36,000 top-grade 6th-grade star stones and 100 low-grade 7th-grade star stones. They were all a bunch of poor people bidding, and the geniuses all turned their heads away arrogantly. They would rather not get it than pay for it. Jiang Changkong's lips twitched. If it was a cultivation technique that was close to God tier, they would definitely bid crazily. It was because the forces behind them were stronger and they didn't care about the rewards, so they didn't bid. Jiang Changkong accepted the IOU. When they reached 10,000 Mile City, they would send the star stones to him within 3 days. Han Xue sat down beside him. What cultivation level are you at? What exactly happened in the blood-colored palace? Isn't it better to ask your mother? Jiang Changkong said. She told me. Han Xue pouted and said, we could be considered friends, right? Tell me about it. Jiang Changkong smiled and flicked her forehead. I'm not telling you. Chapter 266. 10,000 Mile City. The black battleship landed. A group of people jumped off and went home. Jiang Changkong rose into the air and was ready to return to the city. Changkong. 5 light balls flew over and Hua Qinglan's voice came out. Remember to contact me when you go to the Void Realm. Got it. Jiang Changkong waved his hand and said, don't these light balls waste astral power? This is to deduce the stars. Maintaining this state is beneficial to the understanding of astral Tao. Astral form martial artists maintain this state, which is also cultivation. When you reach astral form, I'll teach you. Hua Qinglan smiled. Of course, you can think of it as us being very free and can't compare to a monster like you. After saying that, the 5 light balls rose into the air and left. Jiang Changkong muttered, there's such a benefit? Forget it. Let's not think about it for now. I'll go to the hotel and sleep first. All the sin orders were handed over to Enchantment. First place would not escape. He just needed to find a place to sleep and wait for them to deliver the good stuff. When he returned to the hotel, Yao Meng and Nan Tianpeng were still there. Aren't you going home? Jiang Changkong asked. We're waiting for you. Wang Ruiqing and Su Hongji have been sent back to Anning Province. Yao Meng said, I heard that you showed off your power in Sin Realm and got all the benefits. How can you say all the benefits? I didn't make things difficult for your brother and sister, Jiang Changkong said lightly. He exchanged the astral stones with them. None of them were strong. You're tired too. We won't disturb you anymore. You should rest. After saying that, the two returned to their rooms. Jiang Changkong returned to his room. He was not in a hurry to sleep. He had not counted his gains yet. 6th grade astral stones were enough to fill several houses like this. 7th grade astral stones were relatively few, only tens of thousands. 8th grade astral stones, none. There were quite a lot of astral stones, about 100,000 in total. Why aren't there any astral stones? Lin Feng is doing too poorly. Jiang Changkong was a little depressed. The best astral crystal only had 4,000 points of essence, qi, and spirit. According to that calculation, that was the value of a top-tier 8th grade astral stone, corresponding to the peak of astral form. Lower 7th tier star crystals, 2,000 pieces. Mid-grade star crystals, 5,600 pieces. 8,000 high-grade star crystals. Top tier, 10,000. Lower rank 8, 19,000. Mid-grade, 20,000 yuan. Top grade, 30,000 yuan. Top tier, 5,400 yuan. As expected of a group of high-level martial artists. Once this windfall was settled, it would definitely not be a problem for him to directly step into the astral body. In total, it was more than 178 million points of essence, energy, and spirit. This was the most he had ever obtained. Moreover, there was also a pile of star stones. Once everything was settled and he studied the star formation and star text, he would go to the Void Realm to look for that group of high-ranking martial artists. A group of walking spirit, qi, and spirit warehouses. Jiang Changkong started to count his harvest of star stones. However, there were too many star stones, and Jiang Changkong couldn't clear them all in a short time. He could only clean them up one by one and keep putting in new space equipment. Furthermore, he was only going to clear out those at the 6th level. As for those below the 6th level, he was going to collect them all. When the time came, he would throw these useless star stones to Senior Sister and the others. They could use them. He picked out the 6th grade star stones and put them into his space equipment. Just like that, Jiang Changkong counted for 3 days before he finally counted out the star stones. In those 3 days, the major forces paid their debts. 2 top-tier 8th grade mechas, 5 top-tier 7th grade mechas. Hua Qinglan gave 3 top-tier mechas, and the 3 major families gave another 2. High-ranking weapon materials were also given, which was enough to forge the Moon Blade and Sun Blade. In addition to these, Sha Jingma and the others also sent over star stones. The Federation's mystery prize had not been given yet. Wang Ruiqing and the others had returned to their normal identities. Old Liang and the others were excited and went home to see their children. If it was possible, they would bring their families to seek shelter with Jiang Changkong. Jiang Changkong welcomed this. In any case, there was still space in the Abyss City. Mengjie, do you know where the martial art academy in Wanli City is? Jiang Changkong found Mengjie and asked. I do. What do you want? Yao Ming asked in confusion. Are you still in the mood to teach your juniors here? No, I have an agreement with the martial arts academy to exchange for star stones. I've gained a lot this time, so I can ask them to exchange for star stones. Jiang Changkong explained. It was easy. He could exchange for star stones directly, saving him time and no fees. It would also save Professor Yin a lot of money. Changkong was diligent and thrifty. Yao Ming twitched the corner of her mouth. You're really stingy. You're already so rich, but you're still so stingy. Can't you be more shameless as a high-level martial artist? It's not like you don't have a research institute. In the end, Yao Ming took him to the martial arts academy. The person who received them was the principal, who was also a high-level martial artist at the peak of the Star Embryo stage. Cheng Kaisheng, congratulations, congratulations. The principal smiled warmly. It's the Federation's honor to have such a talent like you in the martial arts academy. You're flattering me, principal. Jiang Changkong smiled. Are you here today to teach your juniors? Or to teach our teacher? The principal said with a smile. Our year's joke is very good. How about I introduce you to a matchmaker? Ahem. Jiang Changkong coughed lightly and hurriedly said the purpose of his visit. I'm here to exchange for 6th grade star stones. It's troublesome to deal with them, and I need them urgently. Oh, exchange for star stones? No problem. You can exchange for tens of thousands. The principal said generously. Jiang Changkong pondered for a moment and said, a few million. What do you think? The principal. I suspect that you're here to make trouble. Yao Ming couldn't stand it anymore and turned her head to the side. The principal's face darkened. You brought all of them from the sinful realm? Yes, I've counted them. A total of 2,390,000. Jiang Changkong said, if you don't like it, you can exchange for 2 million. No problem. Then I'll exchange them all. The principal waved his hand and said, we still have this much stock, but I'm curious. How did you count them? I counted them, Jiang Changkong said. Uffed. Yao Ming spat out the tea and stared at him blankly. You locked yourself in your room for 3 days just to count how many star stones there are? Yes, I counted them several times. I'm sure it's correct, Jiang Changkong said. The principal sighed and patted him on the shoulder. Don't do this next time. Just put it in front of the machine and scan it. Jiang Changkong, why didn't I think of this? Maybe I was too excited at the time. I won't do this next time. Yao Ming sighed. Miser, you're not called that in vain. Let me count for 3 days, I'll go crazy. The headmaster took the concealing star ring, which stored the star stones, and left to exchange the processed star stones for him. When he left, Jiang Changkong saw the principal sobbing. He guessed that the principal was also laughing. You bunch of stupid mortals. How can you understand the pleasure of watching your essence, qi, and spirit grow? That's more than 20 million points of essence, qi, and spirit. Adding them up, my essence, qi, and spirit have exceeded 200 million. Soon, the principal sent the processed essence, qi, and spirit over and showed him the machine. It showed that not a single stone was missing. I won't be seeing you out. I still have something to do. The principal closed the door after saying that. Loud laughter came from inside. Jiang Changkong curled his lips. What a low bar for laughter. Yao Ming sighed softly. I'll get Nan Tian Wang to come with you next time. Jiang Changkong. Right. Are there any martial arts schools in the Void Realm? There should be, right? Chapter 267. As soon as Jiang Changkong and Yao Ming left the school, and Shanha arrived. Changkong. And Shanha walked over with a smile. Your first prize is out. You have to go there in person. Then let's go. Jiang Changkong nodded. Mengji, you go back first. Yao Ming smiled. Go. Tian Wang and I will wait for you at the hotel. Let's go. And Shanha led the way and left first. Jiang Changkong followed him and shuttled through the crowd at an extremely fast speed. The two of them arrived in front of a building, and Shanha led him into the elevator. 5th floor underground? Jiang Changkong looked at the elevator and asked. Yes, Officer Hu Qinglan wants to see you in person. And Shanha asked curiously. What's in the palace in Sin Realm? Why didn't they say anything? Officer Hu Qinglan didn't even go to the Void Realm. She stayed behind to personally award you the prize. Nothing. If you're curious, ask Hu Qinglan. Jiang Changkong said indifferently. And Shanha was a little displeased. Are we still friends? Ding dong. The elevator opened. A basketball-sized green ball of light floated in the air. Hu Qinglan. Jiang Changkong looked at the green ball of light. Is it that small? Once you reach the astral form, your body will be free. It's just instinct, Hu Qinglan said indifferently. I can't let too many people know that I'm giving you the prize this time. Otherwise, you won't be able to enjoy the envy of the crowd. Tell me what the prize is, Jiang Changkong said. The green ball of light floated up and down. You could choose one of the 2 prizes this time. The first choice is an undeveloped wasteland. The 3 families will build a base for you. The second choice is a high-level cosmic relic. Wasteland? You wanted to open up Wasteland? Jiang Changkong frowned. Let me introduce you. Open up Wasteland. In the future, 10% of the profits will go to the Federation. And this wasteland will be yours. You'll be the Lord. It's rich in resources. According to my investigation, there are also large high-level star crystal veins. Hu Qinglan said, you have a lot of star crystals. The Void Realm contains a large number of star crystal veins. There are many large ones that can be dug out. The smaller ones are mostly at the 7-star embryo level. There aren't many at the 8-star body level. The star crystals also contain different attributes. Jiang Changkong pondered. Are there top-level star crystals? Do top-level martial artists use star crystals to cultivate? Top-grade star crystals are extremely rare, but they do exist. However, they're not something that can be produced in our veins. Hu Qinglan explained, they are basically controlled by top-notch martial artists. I'm not sure about the specifics. How many large star crystal veins are there in the wasteland? There are at least 2. Wasteland. There are. There. You said. High-tier ruins, you. Chong. As. Chong, Chun Qing Qing. There, Jiang. Jiang Changkong Feng, I see. Ming. S Yang, Jiang, Chun Ming Lu Yao Yang Yu Feng Chongli, but not now. He had 200 million essence chi. He could definitely reach the star body level. He already had a top-level 8th order weapon. It was not worth it to choose you. And Shanha listened quietly. He couldn't understand why Hu Qinglan, who was at the Star Realm, would talk to Jiang Changkong in a negotiating tone. The Federation didn't care about a star embryo. Under normal circumstances, they could just throw him into a high-grade ruin. But Hu Qinglan put Jiang Changkong on the same level as her. Wasteland. Jiang Changkong decided. Buzz. A golden token flew out and landed in Jiang Changkong's hand. The number 53 was engraved on it. This is your wasteland token. With it, the wasteland is yours, Hu Qinglan said. Hu Qinglan said, the Federation will not give you any help. You will have to clear the star demons on the wasteland yourself. I understand. Jiang Changkong took the token and said, I want to learn how to turn into a ball of light. There are also some tricks like telepathy. Back in Sin Realm, Kamashwan had telepathically told him not to make a sound. These tricks are useless in front of someone stronger than you. Since you like it, I'll teach you. A green light flew out and disappeared between Jiang Changkong's eyebrows. Jiang Changkong accepted the information in his mind and cupped his hands. Thank you. You're welcome. I'll wait for you in the Void Realm. Come quickly, Hu Qinglan said. Jiang Changkong turned around and left. The Federation would contact him when he went to the Void Realm about the wasteland. And Shana couldn't help but say, Sir, aren't you being too nice to him? Number 53 has such abundant resources. How many people want it, but the Federation won't let it go? Do what you need to do. Hu Qinglan's voice was cold. This time, she used her power for personal gain and chose a good place for Jiang Changkong. As he walked out of the building, his phone rang. It was a message from Liang Xiaoshuani, congratulating him on winning first place. She also told him to contact her if he went to the Void Realm. She would tell him about a small star crystal vein. I'll contact you then, Jiang Changkong replied. A small star crystal vein was worth tens of thousands of star crystals. Although it was not bad, he wasn't particularly tempted at the moment. He had 200 million capital in hand, so he was temporarily confident. Moreover, he planned to learn star language before going. This time, he could not understand so many star languages in the Scarlet Palace. The star language in his mind also needed to be translated. Back at the hotel, Jiang Changkong told Yao Ming and Nan Tianwang about the wasteland. When are you going to the Void Realm? Yao Ming asked. Jiang Changkong said, wait for a while. I still have something to do in the Ending Province. I'll go after I'm done. All right, I'll contact my family and build a base first. I'll wait for you there, Yao Ming said. I haven't been back for a long time, so I'll take my leave first. Jiang Changkong did not stay any longer. He bade farewell to the two and left right away. After leaving Wanli City, Jiang Changkong directly flew into the air with all his might. White clouds shrouded him as he rode away. Having reached the late stage of the star embryo realm, Jiang Changkong's speed was no longer the same as before. Moreover, the high-level star demon left on Earth were basically at the star embryo realm, so he could ignore them. On the way back, encountering a flying star demon would only earn him 1 star stone. In just half a day, Jiang Changkong had already returned to the abyss. Descending from the air, the abyss was as bright as day. The star power shone brightly, and there was no darkness at all. The current abyss had undergone earth-shattering changes. The underground passage had also been widened, and the stone houses had been replaced with normal houses. However, there were not many warriors. Jiang Changkong directly entered the abyss, his gaze piercing through the void and landing on a towering city. Quite a lot of soil has been scraped off. Jiang Changkong looked at the soil above his head. It had been scraped off for a few hundred meters. The Abyss City could not be compared to Wanli City, nor could it be compared to Ping'an City. However, this was a city that belonged to him. Moreover, there were countless warriors, shops, and even the weakest among them was a star energy warrior. At the center of the city was his residence, the city lord residence. Descending from the air, Jiang Changkong did not do any incognito inspections. Instead, he directly sent a message to his senior sisters. Not long after, his senior sisters appeared. Professor Yun, Wang Ruiqing, and Su Hongji had also arrived. Then it was Principal Yu Bailin, Zhang Haishan, who was guarding this place. City Lord, I heard that you were very awe-inspiring during the trip to Sin Domain. The 3 senior sisters smiled. Professor Yun bowed slightly. Thank you. Jiang Changkong hurriedly helped Professor Yun up and said with a smile, Teacher, you're treating me like an outsider. I just came back. Who's in charge of cooking? Let's have a meal together? Of course we'll cook together. Ji Xiling said. What do you want to eat? Grilled star demon? Or something else? Let's talk on the way. Let's go to the city lord residence to eat. I'll be in charge of the wine. Su Hongji was full of smiles. It seemed like he had been doing well recently. Chapter 268. A group of people chatted and laughed as they entered the city lord's mansion. Many martial artists saw them and took the initiative to make way. That's Jiang Changkong, the city lord of Abyss City. The city lord is back from a large province. I heard that the city lord leveled the Sin Domain. I know about this too. I heard that the city lord came for a low-grade 6th grade star stone. For a low-grade 6th grade star stone? It can't be. The city lord is interested in low-grade, 6th-grade star stones? TSK, you don't know about this. The city lord had a hard time when he was young. He cherished every star stone. Even if it was a star chi grade star stone, he would hold it tightly in his hands. Jiang Chongkong couldn't bear listening to this any longer. What nonsense! What complete nonsense! I am the city lord of Abyss City. Why would I care about star chi grade star stones? Nonsense. Fortunately, they had arrived at the city lord's mansion. It was a large manor. There were people cleaning it every day. When Jiang Chongkong was not around, no one lived in it. It was just cleaned. The interior was well furnished, and there were surveillance cameras in the corners. Ji Xiling said, "Why don't we just roast the star demon in the courtyard?" Yu Balin smiled. "Sure, we can eat while talking and listen to Chongkong's great deeds." "Sure, but I did not bring back the star demon's corpse," Jiang Chongkong said. "How can I let you bring it? There are plenty in the army." Jiang Chonghai made a phone call and asked someone to bring it over. Tang Ruoshi urged, "Chongkong, quickly tell us about your time in Sin Domain. Even Professor Wang can't explain it clearly." "It's nothing much. I just sparred with the various prodigies." Jiang Chongkong began to narrate. Of course, he left some face for the prodigies. He said that a group of prodigies were defeated by him. Just like that, they were already very shocked. Because Jiang Chongkong said that a group of prodigies were defeated by him, Wang Ruiqing had a faint smile on her face. It was all fake. The prodigies were scared witless. Who would dare to fight against Jiang Chongkong? At the end, Jiang Chongkong said that he had broken through, and because the criminals had gone into hiding, the Sin Domain was pacified. The Blood Energy Palace didn't say anything. The group of people listened with yearning. They also wanted to be so powerful, but unfortunately, they weren't. Su Hongji laughed. "City Lord is giving face to the various powerhouses. What pity! Sparring, City Lord alone can suppress the entire Sin Domain." Jiang Chongkong smiled and looked at Su Hongji. This guy's arm had already grown back. Su Xinghe followed Su Xinghe. Professor Yin was also very straightforward. He gave Su Xinghe some medicine and helped him recover his arm. Seeing how agitated he was, Jiang Chongkong found it inappropriate to interrupt him. The group of people ate, drank, and bragged. Time passed quickly. They chatted until late at night. Everyone was drunk and lay down in the courtyard to rest. Jiang Chongkong crossed his legs. He wasn't drunk. Although the wine was good, it wasn't enough to make a high-level martial artist drunk. Professor Yin and Professor Wang weren't drunk. They went back first. The night passed. The next morning, everyone went their separate ways. They still had work to do. Only he and his two seniors were left in the courtyard. Ji Xiling pulled in Yinxue and asked, "Chongkong, is Budokai still recruiting?" Jiang Chongkong said, "You guys decide." "All right, Budokai doesn't have a vice master yet. I'll leave it to you." Logging onto Budokai's official website, he could appoint 2 vice masters. "Don't give me one. Give Ruoshi one. Ziling, and I will be fine." Ing Yinxue said. Jiang Chongkong nodded. He gave one to Ji Xiling and one to Ing Yinxue. "Done." "Well, we'll recruit based on character. We won't recruit randomly," Ji Xiling said. "I'm not worried about you guys. I'm going to learn StarCraft. Are you guys learning?" Jiang Chongkong asked. Ji Xiling said proudly, "We've been learning from Professor Yin while you were away." Jiang Chongkong smiled and went to the Research Institute with them. The Research Institute was next to the Castellan's residence, so he could drop by at any time. As soon as he entered the Research Institute, Wang Ruiqing stopped him. "Castellan, let's have a chat." "Sure." Jiang Chongkong followed Wang Ruiqing to a small room and closed the door. Wang Ruiqing poured him a cup of tea. "Thank you again, Castellan, for saving us. You're being too polite. Professor Wang asked me to come. Just say what you want," Jiang Chongkong said. "All right, I'll be straightforward." Wang Ruiqing took a sip of tea and said, "Castellan, you'll be going to the Void Realm soon. Little Yun and I are quite familiar with the Void Realm." Jiang Chongkong said lightly, "You want to go with me?" "Yes, after I go, I want to investigate the matter of me being framed. I hope Castellan will allow it." Wang Ruiqing nodded and said bluntly, "I won't cause trouble for Castellan. If anything happens, I'll take responsibility alone." What happened back then? You were framed? Jiang Changkong frowned. The reason I entered Sin Realm was because a batch of mechs made a mistake. Wang Ruiqing's expression darkened slightly. This caused the Federation's personnel to be killed. At that time, I checked the mechs. Who touched them? Jiang Changkong said indifferently. I had 2 assistants at that time, and they're now professors. Wang Ruiqing sneered. Only they have the authority to touch those mechs, and then the users. The users can only use their own, so it was those 2 assistants. Jiang Changkong took a sip of his tea. If you want to investigate, I don't care, but I have a condition. Please speak. Wang Ruiqing's expression became solemn. Don't be so serious. Jiang Changkong raised his hand and laughed. If you meet anything you can't solve, look for me. This might bring you trouble. Wang Ruiqing's expression changed. There's no trouble, it's decided. All right, you're also a professor. Your skills shouldn't be rusty, right? Jiang Changkong asked. Wang Ruiqing laughed. Of course not. I've never been idle in Sin Realm. That's good. I want a peak 8th level weapon, Tai-In Blade Sword, Solar Blade. Help me forge it, and leave the tip of this sword behind. Jiang Changkong took out the Tai-In sword and said. Wang Ruiqing said, all right, I'll complete it for you in 10 days. Jiang Changkong passed the materials to him and stood up to leave. There's no rush. I want to stay for a period of time to learn star literature. Entering the secret room, Professor Yun put down the work in his hands and started to teach them star literature. Jiang Changkong also took out the star crystals and asked her to help him process them. This time, Jiang Changkong listened more seriously. Illiteracy was too scary. He did not want to be unable to recognize star literature the next time. While learning, he translated the star literature information in his mind and recorded it in his notebook. Professor Yun occasionally glanced at his notebook and did not say anything. The following days were relatively peaceful. Jiang Changkong would extract a bit of essence, qi, and spirit every day to study the star text. The days were relaxed and comfortable. The star crystals were also processed and extracted, and the stones were placed in the ring. Star crystals were different from star stones. They were used to guide high-level martial artists to cultivate. It would be too shocking to use them all at once. Star crystals could only be used with the same attribute. If used with different attributes, there would be a clash of attributes and the possibility of going the wrong way. In the words of wuxia stories, it would be a qi deviation. Jiang Changkong also took out the mech. If they went to the Void Realm after some time, they would have a guarantee. Now that he took out the mech, it was to let Professor Yin extract more energy in case he was unprepared and could not use it. He threw all the star stones below the 6th level to Professor Yun and let her extract the energy. Chapter 269. Time passed bit by bit. Wang Ruiqing didn't lie. She said it would only take 10 days. The 3 weapons were all at the peak of the 8th grade. Withdrawing the extreme Yin saber and sword, Jiang Changkong held onto the blazing sun saber and felt the terrifying power contained within. If the energy in the blade was drawn out, it would be enough to kill a peak astral spirit. Even with his strength, it could increase it by 30%. There was no need to talk about the lunar saber sword. Its amplification was stronger than this saber. Jiang Changkong continued to study the star language and translate the information in his mind. 3 months passed just like that. Many people called and sent him messages, but he didn't reply to any of them. 3 families looked for him. Hua Qinglan and Shanhe, and the others all called him. However, the one who looked for him the most wasn't those people, but Lianxiu Shuani. Because he hadn't returned for so long, Lianxiu Shuani threatened him with the small mine and asked if he still wanted it. Jiang Changkong ignored them. He couldn't go to the Void Realm before learning the star language. In those 3 months, he finally learned all the star language and could use it proficiently. The information in his mind was also translated. The information was Power Pattern Battle Body, Moon Battle Body, and Sun Battle Body. The 3 great battle bodies combined to form an extreme battle body. When the 3 great battle bodies were cultivated to the extreme, they could all become immortals. When the 3 great battle bodies combined, it would be even stronger. The combination of yin and yang, with power as the main, returned to the origin and become immortal. The three palaces corresponded to the cultivation methods of the three great battle bodies. The 9 floors of the complete 3 palaces corresponded to the advanced peak and immortal divine bodies above the peak. What he obtained could only be considered half of the advanced star arrays and only half of the peak ones. The remaining half was stored on the 9th floor with the immortal divine bodies. The true gods were all there for the 3 immortal divine bodies. They obtained their respective battle bodies. Jiang Changkong didn't know if any of them became immortals. He only knew that more than 100 people died in the battle palace. The 3 great battle bodies could be divided into 3 battle bodies, which combined to become the strongest. However, there was a condition. The 3 great battle bodies could only be combined when they reached the level of a god. 3 great battle bodies, although I don't believe in the strongest. Jiang Changkong was deep in thought. What ultimate? Of course, it was his own ultimate. After stepping into the celestial body realm, one would condense a celestial body, also known as a celestial body. Either he found the method to condense the extreme yin and extreme yang celestial bodies, or he leveled up by himself. Moreover, this fusion had to be close to the god level. To hell with it. It was more reliable to level up by himself. What really caught his attention was a piece of information. Force pattern battle body. After reaching the near god level, one's physical body would be immortal. The person died, but the body didn't die, and the power didn't disappear. This was the reason why the power mark could still roar. The person died, but the body didn't. Jiang Changkong was very glad that he was also a body refinement cultivator. They also didn't provoke the corpse. Otherwise, he might have seen what a star-shattering fist was. As for the star rune and the star embryo, he also understood its use. It could speed up the condensation of the power rune battle physique, and in the future, it could speed up the transformation of the battle physique all the way until it was near the deity level. Apart from that, it had no other use. After understanding this information, Jiang Changkong immediately left the abyss and headed to the surface to make a breakthrough. After finding a secluded place, Jiang Changkong started to level up. He first raised all his martial arts and array Dao to the star embryo perfection. The star embryo perfection, and there was another power mark, a total of 7. Then he stepped into the celestial body. Celestial body martial artist, the star embryo and the body fused, forming a special physique. Inside the 8th stargate, Jiang Changkong's star embryo absorbed endless star power and swelled up. The star embryo swelled up rapidly and directly stepped out of the stargate. As it swelled up, it also became faint. The power mark on the surface of his body trembled violently, and the celestial body appeared, swallowing the power of the star embryo. Then, the star embryo erupted with all kinds of light, such as extreme yin, extreme yang, formless tyrant blade, and pale white clouds. There was also the formless god-governing art, yin-yang tai chi, and all kinds of power erupting from the star embryo. The god-governing art and tyrant blade, celestial body, could make his body transparent, turning into an invisible energy body. The power marks on Jiang Changkong's body disappeared, and new lines appeared. Countless lines intertwined on his whole body, forming a star array and condensing a special physique. In his mind, there were also star arrays related to the 6 martial arts. The Threezhong golden body belonged to the power rune star array and did not need to be condensed again. The 6 martial arts kept flashing on his body, interweaving into a star formation. Bright moon celestial body, sacred sun celestial body, white cloud celestial body, imperial god celestial body, overlord saber celestial body, tai chi celestial body. It was a celestial body formed according to the cultivation method, and it was a perfect fit for him. There was no fusion as he had imagined, but he could change his celestial body at will. As long as he didn't expose it, no one would be able to discover it. By relying on the Tai Chi Yang art and the ability to split yin and yang, he could use 3 celestial bodies at the same time, one of which was the Tai Chi celestial body. 6 celestial bodies condensed. This time, there was no one to help. Jiang Changkong could only let the celestial bodies condense as he meditated. In the outside world, the six martial arts manifested. With Jiang Changkong as the center, the six-star array spread out, covering a radius of 10,000 meters. The star demon had unintentionally barged in and was instantly killed. Fortunately, he had chosen a deserted place. Otherwise, there would have been many casualties. The gap between the advanced and the advanced was just too great. As the star embryo fused with his body, the power pattern on the star embryo's forehead also appeared between his brows. Fortunately, the power pattern could be hidden with a thought, and it didn't even consume astral power. Just like that, 3 days passed. The changes in Jiang Changkong's body finally stopped. Every corner of his body was filled with surging astral power and formed special patterns. With a thought, Jiang Changkong rapidly shrunk. Then with another thought, he began to grow bigger. Of course, there was a limit to the size of 100 meters, and his strength wouldn't become stronger or weaker. If he shrank, he would at most be the size of a fist, and it wouldn't become weaker or weaker. Then, he looked at his own data. Jiang Changkong, early stage of astral body high rank, mid-grade martial arts, 3 golden body, rudimentary 1/200000 Tai Chi Yang art, rudimentary 1/200000 Tyrant blade, rudimentary 1/200000 Holy Sun art, rudimentary 1/200000 God, controlling art, rudimentary 1/200000 Bright Moon art, rudimentary 1/200000 White Cloud Ninefold Sutra, rudimentary 1/200000 High rank, mid-grade array art, battle body star formation, incomplete rudimentary 1/200000 essence, energy and spirit, 11656115, 4 Jiang. Changkong did not hesitate to continue leveling up with the remaining 10 million or so. Jiang Changkong, mid-stage of astral body high rank, mid-grade martial arts, 3 golden body, rudimentary 1/120000 Tai Chi Yang art, rudimentary 1/120000 Tyrant blade, rudimentary 1/120000 Holy Sun art, rudimentary 1/120000 God, controlling art, rudimentary 1/120000 Bright Moon art, rudimentary 1/120000 White Cloud Ninefold Sutra, rudimentary 1/120000 High rank, mid-grade array art, battle body star formation, incomplete rudimentary 1/120000 essence, energy and spirit, 1005615 for inch. That's enough for me to reach the late stage of astral body. Jiang Changkong heaved a sigh and chose to upgrade. The astral power in his body surged again, and the star formation patterns on his body became more complicated. His understanding of the star array also increased in his mind. The improvement of the force pattern battle diagram gave him a better understanding of the star formation in his mind. After reaching the late stage of the astral body, his strength changed dramatically again. He could beat Yao Qing, who was at the peak of the astral body stage. As for Hua Qinglan, he wasn't sure if she would spar with her now that she had a way to get close to God level. Jiang Changkong's figure flashed and transformed into a small sun. The Holy Sun astral body was activated and the astral patterns kept flowing on the surface of his body. Jiang Changkong looked at the data and saw that it was shaking, but it was just shaking. No wonder. This is really cultivation, but the progress is very slow. Jiang Changkong was sure that if he maintained this state, the astral patterns would continue to flow, refining his body and increasing his astral power. It would also strengthen the cultivation of the star formation, which was equivalent to a cultivation state. That was why astral body warriors like to be light balls. So, should I become a small sun in the future? Jiang Changkong glanced at Deshang's data and saw that Deshang needed 2 million essence, energy, and spirit to upgrade a martial art. He felt like he had lost a dog. He had killed 21 high-level warriors and robbed the Sin realm, only to have 200 million essence, energy, and spirit. At this rate, How many high-level warriors would he have to kill to upgrade? Could it be that he had to empty the Void Realm? Forget it. Let's not think about it anymore. I'll go back first and contact Liangxiu Xuani to ask her for information about small mineral veins. It's time to go to the Void Realm and explore. I also need to take a look at the Lunar Broken Sword. My base should be almost built. I hope the three families didn't fool me and give me trash. Chapter 270. Jiang Changkong. Late-stage astral body high tier, mid-grade martial art. 3-foot golden body, Desheng 1/7. 2 million Tai, Qi Yin Yang skill, Desheng 1/7. 2 million Tyrant blade, Desheng 1/7. 2 million Holy Sun skill, Desheng 1/7. 2 million Spirit Raining art, Desheng 1/7. 2 million Bright Moon skill, Desheng 1/7. 2 million White Cloud, Ninefold Sutra, Desheng 1/7. 2 million high-tier mid-grade array skill, Battle Body Star Formation, incomplete Desheng 1/7. 2 million Essence, Vitality, and Spirit, 456115. For after returning to Abyss City, Jiang Changkong checked his stats and stepped into the Research Institute. Changkong, you've broken through again? Professor Yin asked in surprise. Jiang Changkong smiled and said, "It seems that the equipment in your research institute has also become much more advanced. I've finished learning the starry text. Now that I've made another breakthrough, are we going to the Void Realm?" Wang Ruiqing asked. Jiang Changkong said, "Of course, but I'll be going first. Let me take a look at my base first. Let's go together. With the mech you brought back, we'll be able to protect ourselves." Professor Yin said, "Moreover, if the base's construction doesn't work, we can always rebuild it." Jiang Changkong thought about it and said, "Then let's do it this way. I won't be going with you." Barren Land number 53. "All right, we're too slow. We won't be a burden to you. Let's pack up now." Professor Yin smiled. After the discussion ended, Jiang Changkong left the abyss. Transforming into the little holy sun, wherever Jiang Changkong went, the plants seemed to have been injected with hormones, and the star demon also growled in comfort. It only took him an hour to return to 10,000 Mile City. Jiang Changkong contacted Shanha and asked about the Void Realm. And Shanha answered the phone. "You're finally out. There's been no news for 3 months. I was about to go to the Anding province." "Cut the crap. When are we going to the Void Realm?" Jiang Changkong asked directly. "Leave with us tonight. I'll contact you when the time comes," and Shanha said. After hanging up, Jiang Changkong called Yao Meng and chatted for a while before hanging up. Looking at the message on his phone, Jiang Changkong pondered for a moment. In the end, he decided to call her Liangxiu Xuani. "Chang Kai-sheng, you're really a busy man. I've been looking for you for 3 months, and you've only just replied to me." Liangxiu Xuani's voice remained calm. Even though she was complaining, no one was able to tell that there was a change in her tone. Jiang Changkong said faintly, "He's in seclusion in the Stability Province. So that's how it is." "Xuani, congratulations to Chang Kai-sheng for your great improvement in strength," Liangxiu Xuani said. "I'll brew some tea and wait for you at the same place as last time." That damn poker face. Whether it was intentional or not, Jiang Changkong muttered before he hung up the phone. Liangxiu Xuani, so be it. Why was it a dead poker face? Liangxiu Xuani clenched her fists. Her face twitched, and she went back to her poker face. Jiang Changkong entered the 10,000 Mile City and went straight to the place where they had agreed to meet. It was the same pavilion. Liangxiu Xuani was sipping tea. "You could have told me directly about the Star Crystal Mine. Why did you have to come here in person?" Jiang Changkong didn't stand on ceremony this time. He poured a cup of tea for himself and drank it in one gulp. Liangxiu Xuani said faintly, "I like to talk face to face. Since I haven't seen you for so long, that Star Crystal Mine is gone." Jiang Changkong said calmly, "If it's gone, then it's gone. I'm leaving." There were 2 large ones in his wasteland. He had to hurry and dig them. Liangxiu Xuani said again, "That doesn't mean there's no other one." Jiang Changkong narrowed his eyes and said with a smile, "Miss Xuani, you have more than one piece of information about the Star Crystal Mine." "City Lord Jiang, I'm not strong enough. I can only rely on this information to survive." Liang Xiaoshuani said calmly. For the second step, I want you to flatten a place. All the profits will belong to you, including the star crystal mine. Which place? I won't do such a heinous thing, Jiang Changkong said. There's a group of star demon near your territory. The strongest one is a peak astral body, Liang Xiaoshuani said. Star demon? Miss Xuani thinks too highly of me. She thinks I can flatten a peak astral body star demon, Jiang Changkong said with a frown. He had just broken through to the astral body realm. Liang Xiaoshuani's information couldn't be so fast, right? Of course you can't, but you have 3 families as allies. Hu Qinglan is also very familiar with you. Liang Xiaoshuani looked at him and said, the Blood Aura Palace has a good harvest. Jiang Changkong narrowed his eyes and said with a smile, Miss Xuani, you have quite a lot of information. When will you tell me about the Immortal Palace's base? I'll go and flatten it. So she wanted to use him to lure out the 3 families and Hu Qinglan. He was so scared that he thought Liang Xiaoshuani knew his true cultivation. There's no hurry. If you have that ability, I won't let you go, Liang Xiaoshuani said. Then I'll have to trouble Miss Xuani to tell me how many star crystal mines there are in my wasteland, Jiang Changkong said. 2 large ones. I'm not sure about the small ones. Liang Xiaoshuani stood up slowly and said, City Lord Jiang, you don't need to test me. We're partners. I have no ill intentions. Liang Xiaoshuani came to the pavilion and suddenly frowned. Her body stiffened for a moment before returning to normal. If you had any ill intentions, you'd be dead by now, Jiang Changkong said indifferently and put down his teacup. Miss Xuani, you're not bad. After saying that, he turned and left. Liang Xiaoshuani's calm face finally showed a trace of emotion. She looked at the leaving Jiang Changkong in shock. Just now, she felt her body stiffen and she couldn't move. Apart from that, a strange and special power actually penetrated her stargate and imprisoned her soul. Fortunately, that power didn't have any ill intentions and retreated in an instant. Jiang Changkong, this is your soul martial art, Liang Xiaoshuani murmured. Suddenly, a voice sounded in her ear. This is called the soul governing art. Miss Xuani, remember it well. I will. Liang Xiaoshuani's eyes were solemn. She flung her sleeves and left. After Jiang Changkong left, he went to find Nan Tianping for a drink. Since someone was treating him to a meal, it would be a waste not to eat. Eating a few more meals from him could be considered a fee in advance for using his reputation to act cool. As for Liang Xiaoshuani, her strength wasn't low. She was at the peak of the star spirit realm and was no weaker than a genius. If he hadn't used the soul governing art on a whim, he would have really thought that he was in the early stage of star spirit. They ate until nighttime. Jiang Changkong didn't leave until Enchantment called. Outside 10,000 Miles City, the holy sun spun and flew, illuminating a radius of 100 meters. The surrounding weeds absorbed the power of the holy sun and grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. And Shauna's expression froze. He looked at the approaching holy sun and frowned. Which expert? Abyss City, Jiang Changkong. Hello, everyone. The holy sun dissipated, and Jiang Changkong appeared. The vegetation around him stopped growing. It's really you. It's only been 3 months, and you've already stepped into the astral form, and Shan has said in shock. Jiang Changkong looked around. Just the 2 of us. There are others. They're here. And Shanha floated in the air and looked in the direction of 10,000 Miles City. 3 balls of light and 2 figures flew through the air. And Shanha, everyone is here. Let's go, a blue ball of light said. And Shanha nodded. He didn't introduce himself and took them into the air. Jiang Changkong transformed into the holy sun again and followed and Shanha unhurriedly. So it's an astral form expert. The 3 balls of light vibrated. The blue ball of light said, Outer Sea Island, Hai Tianhe. Of the 3 balls of light, 1 was blue, and the other 2 were yellow and green respectively. Ming Sha, this is Feng Tingyu, the yellow ball of light said. Jiang Changkong finally understood that these people all depended on strength. Abyss City, Jiang Changkong. Chapter 271. The 3 light balls were all from the outer island. He just did not know where the other 2 were from. The two consciously followed in Shanha and did not interrupt. Jiang Changkong did not ask them either. They were both in the late-stage star embryo realm. I heard that Brother Changkong won first place in the Sin realm and was rewarded with a piece of land. Hai Tiana's voice came from a blue light ball. Where's the wasteland? If it's close, you can walk around more. Number 53, I don't know either. I've never been there before, Jiang Changkong said. Number 53 is a good territory. It's not far from our outer island. We can get closer. Hai Mingsha smiled. That's great. I don't have many friends when I first entered the Void Realm. It's my luck to have you two looking after me. Jiang Changkong chuckled. Of course, he was just joking. If there was something good, they would not think of him. Similarly, if he had something good that he could not eat, he would look for the three families and Hu Qinglan first. The four of them chatted and laughed along the way. They followed in Shanha through the clouds and arrived above the sea. Jiang Changkong asked curiously, "The Void Realm is in the sea?" And Shanha said, "It's just one of the entrances." Jiang Changkong was puzzled. "Hai Tianhe, isn't it faster for you to come here directly? Do you need the Federation's permission every time you go in and out? There are often high-level star demon snipers at the entrances of the Void Realm. It's safest to go together." Hai Mingsha explained, "Of course, if you give us star stones, the Federation will protect you until you reach your destination safely." "Give us star stones?" Jiang Changkong was taken aback. "Then I won't go. I'll escort the people from Abyss City. I can't waste star stones." And Shauna's face darkened. He gritted his teeth. "Officer Hu Qinglan has already ordered us to escort you once for free. Can you not be so stingy? You're already a star, and you're still reluctant to give up some star stones?" Only now did Jiang Changkong move again. "Let's go then. I'll go in and thank her. I'm diligent and thrifty in managing my family. I must cherish every star stone I have. Star stones were hard to come by. You've once again broken my bottom line." And Shauna sighed. If it weren't for the fact that he couldn't defeat Jiang Changkong, he would definitely kick him back. He was depressed. He went to the Sin domain, but in the end, when he came back, he stepped into the high grade and even had a good relationship with Hu Qinglan. Not only that, he went back for 3 months and directly stepped into the celestial body. This was absolutely abnormal. The group arrived above a lone island. There were all kinds of sophisticated buildings on the island, and troops armed to the teeth were stationed here. And Shauna brought them directly to the center of the island. It was a huge palace with 3 floors. It was completely black and spanned thousands of square meters. They were all pitch-black stones, the same material as the black battleship. And Shanha descended from the sky, retracted his astral power, and arrived at the entrance of the palace. Void Palace. Jiang Changkong looked at the top of the palace, where the words Void Palace were carved. And Shanha brought them into the palace. This is the entrance to the Void, so it's called the Void Palace. You have to report when entering and exiting, and there are astral body warriors guarding inside. Together with this special material, it prevents the star demon from coming out. These materials can't do anything to an astral body, Jiang Changkong said indifferently. And Shauna wasn't weak either. He was in the early stage of the astral body. The Federation is developing this kind of ore. I believe it won't be long before they can absorb astral power from astral body warriors and use it in expeditions. And Shanha explained. As they spoke, they arrived at the depths of the first floor of the Void Palace. There was a sealed door. There were 5 late-stage astral body warriors and 1 peak astral body warrior in the palace. The astral body warriors weren't here. They were on the 3rd floor. Unless something unexpected happened, they were all cultivating. And Shanha, bring people to the Void Realm. This is the list. And Shanha handed the list to the peak astral body. Okay, be careful. The entrance to the Void Realm hasn't been peaceful recently. The peak astral body warrior took the list and knocked on the door. The sealed black stone door slowly opened, and a huge spatial rift appeared. This time, Jiang Changkong didn't feel any fear. Jiang Changkong thought of the crack in the abyss again, but he had been studying the astral text and didn't have time to explore it. When he became stronger and had time, he would go to the abyss to take a look. Let's go. I'll have to trouble you to suppress the spatial rift and enter together. and Shauna said, "Let's go." The 6 astral body warriors in the palace moved at the same time. Majestic astral power surged out and poured into the spatial rift. The powerful force directly suppressed the spatial rift, turning it into a safe passage. The peak astral body warriors said again, "Astral body warriors, go first. If you encounter the star demon, kill it immediately. Let's go." Hai Ming-sha and the other 2 rushed into the spatial passage first. Jiang Changkong followed closely, followed by the 2-star embryos and Shanha. After entering the spatial rift, they were surrounded by the 6 astral body warriors, who had paved a passage with astral power. The passage isolated the terrifying power. Jiang Changkong glanced at it. This is the power of the spatial rift. Space. Yes, star embryo warriors can already break through the space on Earth, but after doing so, they will be strangled to death by the spatial rift, Hai Ming-sha explained. Only astral body warriors can solve this. Of course, according to the legends, space element warriors can be like fish in water. Space element warriors? Have you seen it before? Jiang Changkong asked. He had never seen spatial martial arts before, nor had he heard of anyone talking about it. It's in the astral text, but we just treat it as a legend. It hasn't appeared on Earth yet. Hai Tiana smiled and said, "But it's nothing. With our strength, we can break through normal space. We don't have to be afraid of space element warriors." Jiang Changkong didn't say anything else. Space element warriors were nothing special. When he had the Force Rune battle body to Shang, he could even shatter the void. The 4 of them were extremely fast. As soon as they finished speaking, they had already rushed out of the passage and saw a dark forest. The ancient trees blocked the light. Fortunately, they were all strong and were not afraid of the darkness. Jiang Changkong's light ball paused slightly and felt a force of gravity. It returned to normal in an instant. Is this a special zone? The Void Realm is stronger than Earth in terms of spatial strength and gravity. This is not a gravity zone, Hai Ming-sha explained. Hai Ming-sha explained, "You can try. Only the top warriors here can break through the space. It's not too late to try when there's a chance." After Jiang Changkong finished speaking, the holy sun rotated and dispelled the darkness. He suddenly frowned. "Be careful. I feel a few strong auras with malicious intent." The 3 light balls shone. There really is a star demon ambush. Even Brother Changkong said it's not weak. It seems like it's the star demon. "We're here." And Shanha flew out of the space with the 2 of them and also paused. "Let's go." "Be careful." Changkong sensed danger, the 3 light balls said. And Shanha frowned slightly. "Should we take a detour? Or why take a detour? We could just kill our way out," Hai Ming-sha said domineeringly. A majestic force spread out. Peak astral body. "That's true. With you, Hai Ming-sha, and 2 late-stage astral bodies, we don't have to be afraid unless there are more than 2 peak astral bodies." And Shanha smiled. "Astral bodies aren't easy to kill. Let's not fight and just charge out." After making the decision, they directly flew into the sky. The 2-star embryo warriors were also carried by Jiang Changkong. They were too slow. Buzz! Suddenly, starlight appeared on the ground, sealing the area within 100 miles and enveloping all 7 of them. A majestic force swept over. The 2-star embryo warriors' bodies sank at the same time and almost fell. "Star formation? Brother Changkong, you can feel this gravity," Hai Ming-sha said seriously. Chapter 272. Rumble. The earth trembled. 10,000 streaks of starlight rushed into the sky. Thousands of star arrays converged, forming a barrier that trapped them inside. The 2-star embryo realm martial artists were unable to withstand the terrifying gravity. And Shanha, who was at the early stage of the star body realm, also felt the extreme pressure. A blazing sun rose and shone down, suppressing Jiang Changkong's sacred Sunday. Following that, thousands of strands of blood chi soared into the sky, forming countless star formations. Waves of terrifying blood chi covered the sky and the earth, standing side by side with the blazing sun. Tens of thousands of blood chi formed an array. It was a force-patterned star array. Walala! The waves surged, the seawater surged, and the azure starlight formed a strange star formation with the sky as the disk. Good move. They investigated us thoroughly and suppressed us from all sides. Haiming Sha's expression was gloomy, a combination of multiple star formations, as expected of a high-tier star demon. And Shana's expression was solemn. A long sword appeared in his hand. The holy sun trembled. Jiang Changkong said indifferently, "It's not over yet, right? How do you plan to restrain my 9 layers white cloud?" Buzz. As soon as he finished speaking, green light sprinkled down, starlight filled the sky, and strong winds howled. A tornado appeared on the ground, and the blue light turned into wind blades. It was another star array. As expected, they're coming for me. Where's the divine driving art? Show me all the tricks you have. The holy sun dissipated, and Jiang Changkong stood in the void. Starlight erupted and crushed the incoming star formation. Wow! The strange shriek ignored the body and went straight to the soul. The ghostly wails and wolf howls caused one's hair to stand on end. Illusory figures appeared one after another, looking sinister and terrifying. His face was deathly pale, and his 7 orifices were oozing blood. Malicious spirits ran amok, yet he was not afraid of the blazing sun in the sky. As the starry formations overlapped with each other, it felt like a giant mountain pressing down on Shao Chun. The blazing sun subdued the sun. The violent wind swept the white clouds. The blood energy subdued the power pattern, and the malicious spirit subdued the God-controlling art. As for the gravity array and the azure star array, they were for the others. They've really investigated me thoroughly. It seems that the star demon in the void realm had a lot of connections with humans. Jiang Changkong's eyes opened and closed, divine light blossoming. His entire body rumbled, and the holy sun behind him surged. Cultivation and power inscriptions, Sin Domain, all the heavens' favorites had seen them before. Imperial God art, white cloud 9-layer scripture, he had used all of these in Sin Domain. It wasn't a surprise if news of this got out. What was surprising was that the ones who ambushed them were a group of star demon. Among the human martial artists, there were definitely people who had colluded with the star demon. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to prepare so many star formations. Brother Changkong, it's not just you. These guys know us very well. Haiming Sha and the other 2 appeared, their expression solemn. Buzz. The void fluctuated, and thousands of starlights bloomed. 5 figures stepped on the endless starlight and entered the range of the star formation. Jiang Changkong looked at the newcomers. They were all star demon. They were a bunch of ugly, humanoid creatures covered in scales and fur. Jiang Changkong, this is our first meeting. Are you satisfied with this greeting gift? The power of the blazing sun was dazzling. A star demon stepped onto the blazing sun in the sky. Waves overflowed into the heavens. Blue scales glowed with luster. A hoarse female voice rang out. In all these years, I have never seen such a genius. You can cultivate multiple martial arts at the same time and form a special star body. You are amazing. Its deathly pale eyes emitted a cold and gloomy aura, and it was surrounded by illusionary malicious ghosts. Among the high-ranking star races, your talent can be ranked in the top 100. Thick starlight bloomed brightly. Its body was covered in thick fur. Its limbs were thick, and its muscles were firm. Sun, water, soul, earth. Only the last one was left. Azure light filled the sky. Jiang Changkong's eyes narrowed slightly. Azure light and sun were both peak star bodies. The azure star demon stepped on the storm. Its nails were sharp and gleaming coldly. If you can join the star races, I can give you a chance to become the vanguard of the star races and expand their territory. Changkong and Shana and the others hurriedly surrounded Jiang Changkong with solemn expressions. Haiming Sha's expression darkened. I was too careless this time. I can delay a peak star body. Who told you to come? Jiang Changkong's expression returned to indifference. Who among the humans are you colluding with? The azure star demon said coldly. I'm borrowing your words. We don't listen to your nonsense. If we don't submit, we will die. Then, I'll send you to your deaths. Jiang Changkong's eyes were cold. He activated the holy sun art. Majestic energy erupted and filled the entire star formation within 100 miles. Kill! The cyan light, star demon shouted coldly. 5 figures surrounded the boundless star formation. Kill! Hai Mingsha shouted coldly. Sword auras shook the void and bloomed with starlight. His target was Jiang Changkong. Hai Mingsha, what are you doing? And Shanha and the others were shocked. The other 2 late-stage star bodies, Hai Tianhe and Feng Tingyu, were also shocked and angry. Caught off guard, Hai Mingsha, who was at the peak of the astral body, did not attack the star demon, but Jiang Changkong. Boom! Roar! Starlight bloomed in the sky. A strange roar sounded. Jiang Changkong's body glowed with golden red light. Blood chi and terrifying energy landed on the long sword at the same time. With a boom, Hai Mingsha retreated. Jiang Changkong retracted his 7 force patterns. The 5-star demon's killing intent had arrived. Jiang Changkong's 8th order scorching sunblade was in his hand. The sunset glow covered the sky and enveloped the 5-star demon. Rumble! An earth-shattering sound came. The sky and earth shook. Starlight exploded in the sky, covering 100 miles. The star formation shone brightly and swallowed all the energy. The 5-star demon retreated in a frenzy. Jiang Changkong's body glowed with crimson light and dazzling golden light. Black and white energy flowed at the edge of the 2 lights. Tai Chi, celestial body. His body glowed with 4 colors. Countless force patterns covered his entire body. Boundless astral force rained down. 70% of the astral force dissipated, while 60% of the astral force rebounded back. Facing their attacks, Jiang Changkong didn't move an inch. Just like when he faced Yun Bugue. With the Tai Chi diagram, he could remove 80% of the power of someone who was 1 level higher. Now, with the Tai Chi battle body, although it was not as compatible as the sun and moon, it was still quite powerful. However, without the Tai Chi celestial body, even if it could remove 70% of the power, it could only transfer 60%. You knew there was something wrong with me. You've been guarding against me? Hai Mingsha stood in the distance and said in shock. Under the monstrous star power, the 5-star demon were injured at the same time. Fortunately, they were not weak and recovered in an instant. Huh, you really formed a few celestial bodies and can use 3 at once? The green star demon was shocked. His previous words were just a test, but now he saw it with his own eyes. He could use 3 celestial bodies at the same time. Jiang Changkong put his hands behind his back. Although he had not reached the level of a true god and could not merge the 3 celestial bodies, he had the Tai Chi yin-yang technique. Shouldn't the advanced star demon be called the battle body? Jiang Changkong looked indifferent. As for guarding against you, you think too highly of yourself. I don't need to guard against you. He formed the force pattern battle body and wanted to sneak attack him? Impossible. As long as there was danger, even if it was on his back, the force pattern would explode instantly. Every part of his body was a weapon. This was the terrifying part of the force pattern battle body of a martial artist. Kill. Activate the star formation and suppress him. Let's kill him together. The green star demon shouted angrily. The star formation released endless starlight, and the pressure increased again. Changkong and Shanha and the other 4's expressions darkened at the same time. Starlight intertwined, and they were about to attack. Let's work together to delay, Hai Mingsha. No need. We'll just play with them. It's better to use more interesting methods. Jiang Changkong raised his palm slightly. The golden red light and the power of Tai Chi disappeared at the same time. The light of the holy sun appeared again, illuminating the area within 100 miles. Chapter 273. Sun-Star Array. I'm the sacred sun that you can't restrain. All the energy in his body was converted into the sacred sun-star power. In an instant, the sacred sun-star power broke through the star array. The light of the sacred sun penetrated hundreds of miles. Under the light, it was full of murderous intent. All the light was evaporated, and the star power connected to the star array began to break. A terrifying pressure enveloped the 5-star demon and Hai Mingsha. This power, How is it possible? How can he break the peak 8th order star array with just his power? Star level. His sun star power has reached the star level. Horrified cries resounded. The 5-star demons and Hai Mingsha were astonished. The 3 major stars were shocking enough. Before Jiang Changkong's attack, they were just shocked. But now, after Jiang Changkong's attack, his power had reached the star level. You're not qualified to see the 3 major stars. Jiang Changkong's expression was indifferent. The eruption of 3 celestial bodies was definitely stronger than the current him, but not by much. If the sun and moon star arrays were used, they would be able to suppress him. But now, he wanted to let these guys know that his power alone was also very terrifying. Blazing Sunday, he said indifferently. The peak 8th order saber buzzed, finding it difficult to bear his star power. Under the full attack, the 8th order saber didn't increase his power. He had completely surpassed the 8th order. The power of the saber had already shaken the sky and cracked the star array. The rising sun, the warm and gentle blade, compared to before, the power was more than a dozen times stronger. The sacred sun was supposed to nourish all things, but now there was only murderous intent. Wherever the light of the sacred sun passed, there was only destruction. The starlight was evaporating, and the star demon's body was cracking. In the blink of an eye, it was covered in cracks. Those malicious ghosts dissipated. The star demon, who cultivated the soul, was suppressed and had the most cracks on his body. Hamingsha's body was also cracking. The star array patterns on his body were activated to the extreme, but they couldn't withstand the sacred sun's light. The blazing sun saber finally fell. Its target was the sun star power star demon. Boom! Blood mist filled the air. The star demon exploded, turning into countless pieces of flesh that fell to the ground. However, these pieces of flesh were still wriggling about, still not dead, wanting to reform. Under the illumination of the holy sun, the minced meat stopped squirming and was sealed by the power of the holy sun gulp. After the shockwaves subsided, and Shanha and the others gulped, they did not expect Jiang Changkong's strength to be this terrifying. Hai Mingsha's sneak attack was simply courting death. The soul-controlling art that restrains me? Then give a try. The power of the sacred sun disappeared, and an invisible force of stars spread out, enveloping the entire area. Hai Mingsha and the 4-star demon didn't even have time to react before their bodies stiffened. They wanted to move, but their bodies were no longer listening to them. This soul-governing art was not an ordinary soul cultivation method at all. It could directly imprison their bodies. In the next moment, the 4-star demon's divine souls stiffened. A strange force pierced through the stargate and enveloped their souls. A shrill scream rang out. A faint soul appeared on the surface of the soul-type star demon's body, and it was cracking. Soul tearing. The invisible force tore souls bit by bit, and the shrill scream directly attacked everyone's souls. This was the voice of the soul inside the stargate. The souls of Shanha and the others were trembling, as if they had seen the greatest horror. Boom! The last piece of soul was torn apart, and the soul completely dissipated. Only the corpse of the star demon was left, and it fell. There was no sign of life. The astral body, star demon, was directly killed. So, your souls are shattered, and you can't recover. Jiang Changkong smiled calmly, as if he had discovered some secret. Now, his main body had the soul-controlling art, and his avatar had the tyrant blade. The star demon, and Shanha, and the others all looked at him in horror. Jiang Changkong had the ability to instantly kill astral body martial artists. Come next. Let me test my white cloud ninefold sutra, Jiang Changkong said calmly. The astral power changed again, and it turned into pale white clouds. And Shanha and the others. Now is the time for you to test your martial arts. Can we go ahead of you? They were afraid that Jiang Changkong would attack them, or that they would be affected by the shockwaves. Hai Mingsha and the 3-star demon were trembling. How did this lunatic cultivate? Was he really going to kill one with each martial art? In the area covered by the white clouds, the sun and moon were dim, and only the pale white clouds could be seen. These white clouds directly swallowed Hai Ming Sha and the star demon, and they rushed into their bodies. The white clouds released astral power, tearing their bodies apart. Spirit-piercing long clouds. Jiang Chankong's palm landed, and the white clouds that entered his body spread to every corner. With a boom, the green star demon directly exploded, and it turned into pieces of evenly distributed flesh. The power of the white clouds attached to the pieces of flesh, and it sealed the star demon. There are 3 left, but none of you have a body-tempering star demon. How boring. Jiang Chankong said calmly. Then I'll show you the power of a body-tempering martial artist after reaching the astral form. With a loud boom, the essence chi shot up into the sky. The force-patterned celestial body opened, and 7 force patterns flowed on the surface of his body. Jiang Chankong bent his fingers and pressed in the air. An invisible force spread out, and it could not be detected. They could only sense danger. However, in front of Jiang Chankong, who had unleashed his full power, they had already lost their composure. Rumble. With a loud explosion, Hai Ming Sha and the 2-star demon exploded at the same time, turning into blood mist. The blood mist did not dissipate, and it was still slowly condensing. After all, they were not as strong as the corpses close to God level, so they could not kill them directly. The star formation had been completely destroyed, and the star demon had all turned into blood mist and fragments. They were suppressed by Jiang Chankong. With a wave of his hand, the power dissipated, allowing the star demon and Hai Ming Sha to heal. After collecting the space equipment, Hai Ming Sha only had 2,000 mid-grade star crystals. There were no high-grade or top-grade star crystals. The star demon also had a few thousand cubic meters of space equipment, and there were also star crystals inside. They had more than Hai Ming Sha's, but most of them were just random things. There were stones with star runes carved on them, scrolls, and so on, as well as some refining materials and medicine. There were also some equipment and mobile phones. However, the mobile phones were all blank. There were no call records or chat messages. The Sunstar Power Star Demon healed, and Jiang Chankong happened to dig out the Soul Star Demon Starstone. He directly suppressed him. Tell me, who informed you? The Star Demon looked at him coldly and did not say a word. If you don't want to tell me, then die. Jiang Chankong waved his hand, and the God-controlling art directly crushed the Soul Demon's soul and dug out the Star Stone. The rest of the Star Demon healed, and none of them said a word. Jiang Chankong did not hesitate and kill them all. He looked at Hai Ming Sha. You don't want to tell me either? Hai Ming Sha was silent for a moment. The Celestial Palace Intelligence Palace promised to give me star-level breakthrough medicine. That's all I know. Okay, it's enough that you know about the Celestial Palace. I'll give you a quick death. Jiang Chankong raised his hand, and the God-controlling art directly destroyed the Star Demon's soul. After doing all this, Jiang Chankong looked at Shanha. Let's continue. You don't want these corpses? And Shanha pointed at the corpses. The Research Institute can extract energy from the corpses and use them as energy. Then I won't waste them. Thanks. Jiang Chankong quickly collected them and thanked Shanha. The base had just been built, and they needed too many corpses. They could not waste anything useful. Chapter 274. The 6 of them flew into the air, and Jiang Chankong turned into a holy sun again. Unfortunately, the data kept fluctuating and did not increase at all. Fortunately, he had gained quite a lot this time. There were a total of 14,361 mid-grade star crystals. There were only 2,000 low-grade tier 8 star crystals. It seemed that the Star Demon did not care about low-grade star crystals. He would leave the 5 special star stones for Professor Yun and the others. They could be used to pilot mechas, or they could be sold for other things. He was no longer interested in such a small amount of energy. When he arrived at the base, he would dig up the 2 large mineral veins, and he should be able to make a fortune. Moreover, there was still a Star Demon at the peak of the astral form waiting for him. The future was still full of hope. After that, there were no more disturbances, and the journey was safe. And Shanha led them over a group of buildings, and the 2-star embryo warriors left midway. They had arrived at their destination. It was not until the evening that Jiang Chongkong finally arrived at his base, number 53. It was originally a wasteland, but now there were some buildings. The buildings were all built with good materials. Of course, they were not high grade, but was still not bad. They were all mid-tier materials. One of the buildings was made of high-grade stone, and even star embryo warriors would find it difficult to destroy. When Professor Yun and the others arrived, they would be able to resist star embryo warriors with the help of some star formations and equipment. It was already considered a good building in the Void Realm. The three families did not fool him. I still have to take them away. You should take a look at your base first, and Shauna said. Jiang Chongkong nodded. Okay. Brother Chongkong, do you want to come to our place? It's quite boring for you to be here alone, Hai Tianhe invited. I'll go over if there's a chance in the future. For now, I need to familiarize myself with my territory, Jiang Chongkong declined. Hai Tianhe said, if that's the case, we'll leave first. Brother Chongkong, you must come find us. We're by the sea. The Void Realm also had a sea, and there were also countless star demon in the sea. The warriors on the offshore islands were more familiar with the star demon in the sea, so they occupied the seaside. The major provinces and the ordinary provinces belonged to the inland regions. Jiang Chongkong's territory was considered an offshore island, but it wasn't an offshore island either. It was a territory that belonged to him alone. He took out his phone and thought for a while. He decided to contact Huo Qinglan and the others first. The star demon at the pinnacle of the astral body wouldn't run away. He had to inform them first. Only when Professor Yun and the rest came over would they be taken care of. After dialing Huo Qinglan's number, Jiang Chongkong smiled and said, Chief Huo Qinglan, I'm here in the Void Realm. Are you contacting me first? Huo Qinglan chuckled. I'll be right there. There's no need to be in such a hurry. I'll inform the three families. Jiang Chongkong hung up and contacted Yao Qing, Qi Shi, and Nan Zhaokong. The three of them wanted to come personally. Before he could react, they hung up the phone. Jiang Chongkong put away his phone and walked to his base. At the entrance of the base, there was a stone tablet with a number 53 carved on it. There was nothing in the house. It was clean, and there was not a single piece of furniture. As for the equipment, he needed to get it himself. Fortunately, Professor Yun and the rest brought it over, so he didn't have to worry about it. 2 hours later, a green light appeared in the night sky. A dark green ball of light flew over. Huo Qinglan was the first to arrive. Chongkong. The ball of light dissipated. Huo Qinglan was dressed in a dark green robe with a faint smile on her face. We're here too. The scarlet ball of light, a full moon, and a blazing sun arrived at the same time. You guys came in person. I don't have anything to welcome here. Do you want to eat the humanoid star demon? Jiang Chongkong shrugged and took out a star demon's corpse. Nan Zhaokong smiled and said, We're here to eat this star demon. You're really going to eat it? It's a humanoid after all. Jiang Chongkong frowned slightly. He was just saying it. I'm here today to teach you a lesson about the evolution of the star demon. Huo Qinglan said calmly, I wonder if you've ever flipped through ancient books and read about myths. Does it matter? Jiang Chongkong raised his eyebrows. There are similarities. Huo Qinglan's eyes shone with a dark green light. She spat out a word. Demon. Jiang Chongkong was stunned. Demon? Taking human form? You can understand it that way. It's not actually a demon. According to the Federation's deduction, demons should be plants and animals that absorb star power and cultivate. Huo Qinglan explained, but the world changed. The star demon invaded, and almost all plants and animals went extinct. Coupled with human consumption, demons no longer exist. The Galactic Expedition. Many stars in the universe were occupied by the star demon. We learned some of the history of the universe based on the star text we obtained. In the universe, some stars had life, and some didn't. No one knew what happened in the universe. Starlight fell on Earth, and the star demon appeared. The great change in the universe led to the birth of the star demon. Some planets with life were not inhabited by humans. It was only because they had obtained opportunities that allowed them to absorb star power and cultivate to become stronger. The weak star demon we saw only grew in size and lost its mind due to the impact of power. Some of the special star demon that retained some of its rationality were special. They learned a few moves, but they were incomplete martial arts manuals. Hua Qinglan explained. As for the high-ranking stars, they obtained more opportunities and learn more. Nan Zhaokong continued. The star demon is pursuing the path of cultivation like us, transforming to become stronger and learning more martial arts. Jiang Changkong understood. It was the transformation of extraterrestrial life forms. It was just like humans who absorbed star power to cultivate. It was just that humans did not have that many mutated species. The star demon's transformation was long before we humans started. They have more experts than us. Cixi said, in other words, everything that isn't human is called the star demon. They call themselves the star race, a race that lives in the universe. What about the void realm? Jiang Changkong asked. Hua Qinglan said, the void realm was also scattered during the great changes and has already merged with Earth. The star demon is also exploring the mysteries of this place. According to the star text, there are many experts hidden here. So, these star demon can be eaten? Jiang Changkong blinked. As long as it's not poisonous, there's nothing that can't be eaten. Nan Zhaokong said, however, don't eat the high-ranking star demon. It's too extravagant. We brought the mid-ranking ones. They're all stir-fried with wine and dishes. Hua Qinglan waved her hand, and a green light flashed, turning into a few green rattan chairs. Sit. You're getting more and more proficient with your near-divine cultivation method, Cixi praised. Hua Qinglan smiled faintly. Your strength is also increasing. I believe it won't be long before you all step into the star realm. Jiang Changkong said, stop flattering each other. Tell me what you're here for. I don't believe that all of you came here in person just for a meal. He could no longer listen to the wind blowing. Hua Qinglan's expression darkened and became more serious. We came to you to ask about the ambush, and Shanhe should have reported everything to you. I don't know the details of the Immortal Palace Intelligence Palace. Jiang Changkong shook his head. There's really no news at all? Nen Zhaokong and the other two frowned. Jiang Changkong shook his head. If there was, I would have done it long ago. The four of them looked at each other and asked, how much do you know about Liangxiu Xuani? Jiang Changkong's eyebrows twitched. Did Liangxiu Xuani inform them? Chapter 275. I don't know much about Liangxiu Xuani. I only know that she has information about the Immortal Palace. She knew that the spatial passage was underground. Jiang Changkong said, the second step is to come to the Void Realm. There's a small star crystal vein there. The Nan family knows about this. Nan Tianping was there too, so it was not surprising that Nan Zhaokong came. What surprised him was that Hua Qinglan came looking for him. Nan Zhaokong and the other two nodded. The three of us received the news too. The other forces also received it. Hua Qinglan frowned. There's something wrong with Liangxiu Xuani. I've already sent people to monitor her, but she mysteriously disappeared. Disappeared? You can't find out? Jiang Changkong was surprised. The four shook their heads. If they could find out, they would not have come to Jiang Changkong. I find it strange that the Liangxiu family's strength is only average. What ability and courage does Liangxiu Xuani have to do such a thing? Nan Zhaokong took a sip of wine and voiced his doubts. Jiang Changkong smiled. Why think so much? It's a waste not to take the benefits. Liangxiu Xuani is not weaker than the geniuses of your family. There should be another force behind her. The same force as the Immortal Palace. Hua Qinglan's expression was cold. If I knew this would happen, I would have stayed. There's no point in keeping her. There will be other Xuani. Jiang Changkong said, when our strength increases and we become close gods, we won't have to worry about not being able to destroy the Immortal Palace. You're right. Who cares what she thinks? If there's something good, we'll take it. When we become close gods, we'll kill all of them. Hua Qinglan smiled and drank a cup of wine. Jiang Changkong smiled faintly and said, what gains have you made recently? For example, how's the search for the Immortal Palace? The four shook their heads. Nothing. We're searching both on Earth and in the Void Realm. I still don't know if that corpse is dead or alive. Hua Qinglan looked at Jiang Changkong. Can you explain? Jiang Chongkong smiled faintly. Humans are dead, but the body is alive. What do you mean? The four of them were stunned. That nearer god, body refiner to Shang, can die without dying. Jiang Chongkong explained, let's put it this way. He's a god without any thoughts, but he can explode at any time. The expressions of the four of them changed at the same time. These words made us feel very insecure. He had no thoughts and could explode at any time. If he were to suddenly punch the Void Realm, there would be nothing left to play with. Everything would be over. Don't worry, that corpse doesn't sense any danger, so it won't explode. Jiang Chongkong waved his hand and said, with our strength, even if we go all out, they won't feel anything. The four of them heaved a sigh of relief. Body refinement nearing godly. Could someone of the same level break through his defense? The five of them chatted as they ate. Jiang Chongkong thanked Hu Qinglan for taking care of him and asked someone to escort Professor Yun and the others over. Then, he thanked the three families for helping him build the base. Hu Qinglan was still a little tipsy until the wee hours of the morning. I just remembered something. After some time, the Federation might invite Astral Body and above martial artists to go to the depths of the void. Depths of the void? That place is going to open again? Nan Zhaokong and the other two were surprised. Depths of the void? What's there? Jiang Chongkong asked curiously. Top-notch astral crystals, top-notch materials, and even top-notch weapon fragments like that sword tip of yours. Hu Qinglan said, I'm just saying. It hasn't been decided whether to go or not. Jiang Chongkong said, of course we'll go for such good stuff. There were so many good things, but it had not been decided yet. Shouldn't they be going there now? I can't go without the Federation's permission. Hu Qinglan shook her head and said, the key is in the hands of the Federation, but you can find a wasteland reclamation team first. Wasteland reclamation team? You want me to go reclamation? Jiang Chongkong curled his lips and said, I still have a large piece of barren land that hasn't been opened yet. There's still some time before the reclamation. It'll be almost done by the time you're done here. Yao Qing said, the Wasteland Reclamation Team is a big fat piece of meat. It's a resource-rich area that the Federation has investigated. As long as you can wipe out the Star Demon there and break the Star Formation there, the Federation will give you 70%. Only 70%. Jiang Chongkong was disdainful. The Federation will only charge you for the development. Moreover, you can't just open one Wasteland Reclamation Team, Lao Shi explained. If you can open 8 to 10 of them, will you still be sure of astral crystals? It seemed like he could try. Jiang Chongkong's eyes were filled with longing. A resource-rich area shouldn't be any worse than his 2 large mineral veins, right? If it was really as Lao Shi said, and he could open 8 to 10 of them, wouldn't he be rich? There was also hope for him to reach the star level. Jiang Chongkong hurriedly asked. He knew that the Wasteland Reclamation Team still needed more than 2 months. In these 2 months, he could develop his own barren land and dig 2 large mineral veins. After confirming, Jiang Chongkong started to toast frequently. These 4 knew much more than he did. Even if they randomly pointed to a resource-rich area, he would gain a lot. Of course, the premise was that he could eat it. With his current late-stage astral body strength, he still wasn't strong enough to participate in the reclamation. The major forces would definitely call back the star-level experts for this kind of reclamation. Before 8 until dawn before they left. After they left, Jiang Chongkong circulated his astral power, and his blood chi surged. The Wasteland Reclamation Team is in the depths of the void. It seems that I have to increase my strength quickly. Jiang Chongkong murmured. If he wasn't strong enough, how could he beat everyone and get the most benefits? After he made sure that everyone had left and there was no one around, Jiang Chongkong changed into a black robe and turned into a bright moon. Now, it was time to test his tyrant saber. The bright moon flew into the sky. There was a primeval forest with countless mountains behind it. His barren land was also a mountain, and the mineral veins were in the mountains. The star demon that he wanted to defeat this time was in a mountain. It was about 500 miles away from his wasteland. This distance was too close for high-level martial artists. Jiang Chongkong also needed to eliminate this star demon neighbor. Jiang Chongkong flew through the air and went deep into the mountain. Suddenly, his speed came to a halt. This mountain was full of star arrays, and they were all at the peak of the 8th rank. The Star Demon's foundation is indeed extraordinary. Jiang Changkong thought for a moment and went in. Buzz! As soon as he walked in, the star array exploded and starlight soared into the sky. A fiery red light ball appeared in the void and left quickly. Jiang Changkong frowned and used the soul-governing art. It turned out to be a human. He thought for a while and attached a trace of astral power to the other party, then ignored it. However, a mid-stage astral body couldn't find it. Wherever the soul-governing art's astral power was, the other party wouldn't be able to escape. Rumble. Moonlight poured down, and Jiang Changkong released moonlight essence, which crushed the star demon. The astral power in his body had already been converted to lunar astral power. How dare you come to my territory and behave atrociously? How dare you? A furious shout rang out, and the mountain trembled. Countless star demon rushed over, and a star demon stepped into the air. Early stage star embryo. Jiang Changkong took a look and saw through the star demon's cultivation. He no longer held back and swung the lunar saber. Buzz! Boundless moonlight essence poured down, and the lunar saber, along with the tyrant saber's moonlight essence, instantly descended. It was silent and breathless, extremely fast, and extremely tyrannical. The countless star demons stopped, and so did the star demon. The star array on the ground cracked, and the starlight dissipated. Chapter 276. When the tyrant blade fell, there was no chance of survival. Countless star demon were turned into dust, and only the star stones rolled out. Jiang Changkong's control of stellar power was becoming more and more perfect. He used the God-governing art to find the star stones. Apart from the star stones and the star demon, everything else turned into dust. The star demon's corpse was still useful, but to verify the tyrant blade, he needed the star demon. Jiang Changkong flew across the sky and put the star demon's corpse and the star stones into the hidden star ring. The bright moon pierced through the sky and flew toward the mountain in front. Rumble. Starlight flashed, and several star demon rushed out. The blade flashed, and they all turned into dead souls. Blood smell. The strong smell of blood made Jiang Changkong frown. It came from the mountain. Could it be that the astral body martial artist had led his team here, but all of them died? He rushed into the mountain, and the strong smell of blood drifted out from a cave. He could hear the voices of people talking inside. The Jiang family is getting more and more timid. They were scared away just because someone barged in. He's being cautious. It'll be troublesome if the humans see him with us. That's true. However, the quality of the blood food in test subjects this time isn't good enough. The Jiang family only has this much ability. It's a pity that we can't catch any more human astral body martial artists. Otherwise, we can speed up the experiment. The Federation has given away the number 53 wasteland. I heard it's a celestial body. We can just catch it when the time comes. Buzz! An extremely cold air swept over, and the cave quickly froze. The cold air made the two star demon who were talking shiver at the same time. What a strong cold air. The Tong family is attacking. The two star demon stood up with solemn expressions. The bright moon flew over. The inside was very spacious, and there were many instruments and human corpses. The dissected corpses had all kinds of tubes inserted into them, and the instruments at the side showed all kinds of data. Jiang Changkong couldn't understand the data. He looked around and saw some nourishment chambers with condensed astral power. Some corpses were soaked in it. The two star demon's astral power fluctuated violently as they looked at him solemnly. A star demon said in a low voice, "Yin family, all of you deserve to die." Jiang Changkong said coldly, his killing intent surging. The bright moon dissipated, revealing a black-robed figure with the Tying saber floating beside him. What does the Jiang clan have to do with you? It's actually a man. There aren't many men in the Sea family who can cultivate to the astral form. Another star demon grinned. This is a test subject delivered to our doorstep. Take him down. The other star demon bellowed. Astral power surged, and a cold light appeared on its sharp claws. Heart-devouring claw. Celestial bodies. I was just worried that I couldn't find any celestial bodies to test on. The other star demon grinned and stomped his foot. A mysterious celestial formation appeared in the cave. However, the star formation was still unable to break through Jiang Changkong's ice. Tyrant Saber Lunar Shadow. Jiang Changkong's expression was cold. He slashed out with the tying saber. The saber split into two saber lights. The speed of the saber, the strangeness of the traceless saber, and the dominance of the tyrant saber. The two-star demon sneered and faced the saber lights head-on. Buzz! The saber lights directly entered their bodies. The two-star demon trembled at the same time. The late-stage celestial form star demon exploded. The sky was filled with dust, and the starlight disappeared. The late-stage celestial form star demon was killed with one slash. The other peak astral form star demon's legs disappeared, and only its upper body floated in the air. Half of its body was crippled, and the saber lights shone on its wounds. No matter how it activated its astral power, it couldn't regrow its broken limbs. Jiang Changkong's eyes opened and closed. Moonlight bloomed like two bright moons. Are you studying humans? You are definitely not from the sea family. Who are you? The peak astral form star demon's ugly face looked calm, but deep in its eyes, there was fear. Boom! A rumbling sound came from outside, and a violent astral power swept out. A red ball of light emitted a scorching aura. Which brother has come to my Jiang family's territory and barged in without any reason? Has my Jiang family offended you? The red ball of light emitted a boiling hot aura and questioned Jiang Changkong. Jiang family? Jiang Changkong glanced at the red ball of light and said indifferently, "Do you know what happened here? I know a little, but this demon is too powerful. I can't do anything about it." The red ball of light dissipated, and an old man appeared. He glanced at the situation inside and said angrily, "This star demon is vicious and merciless. He actually studied humans. Brother, please hand over this star demon to me. I will definitely make it suffer a fate worse than death." "Hand it to you?" Jiang Changkong said indifferently. "Why should I?" The old man's anger vanished, and a smile appeared on his face. "Brother, you are not following the rules. Everyone's territory is managed by their own people. This Jiang family's territory should be handled by my Jiang family. Brother, don't make a mistake. My Jiang family is not without astral body experts." Jiang Changkong asked indifferently. "Then, how do you intend to deal with it?" The old man's expression relaxed. "In that case, this fellow is admitting defeat." Thinking of this, the old man's smile faded. "How to deal with it is my Jiang family's problem. However, little brother, since you took so many resources from my Jiang family, please hand them over." Jiang Changkong was slightly stunned. "What resources?" "Little brother, you killed so many star demon astral stones. Furthermore, you took away half of the astral crystal vein that you discovered here," the old man said indifferently. The half-dead star demon said coldly, "Not only that, he even snatched my collection of 100,000 peak rank 8 astral crystals. I have never seen anyone seeking death like you." Jiang Changkong's gaze turned cold, and a saber light flashed, accompanied by moonlight. The astral power in the old man's body surged, but it quickly dissipated. With a boom, he turned into a pile of powder on the ground. The star demon said in fear, "You dared to kill him?" Just like the old man, it thought that Jiang Changkong had admitted defeat. It was about to extort more in the name of the Jiang family, but in the end, Jiang Changkong killed the old man. "You still don't want to talk? Colluding with the Jiang family?" Jiang Changkong said coldly. "Then go down and accompany him." Wait a minute. I'll talk. It's the Jiang family. The Jiang family asked me to do it." The star demon hurriedly said, "It's the astral warrior from the Jiang family. He said that he has a way to turn us into humans. As long as we can figure it out, what we need to do is to get rid of all the people who came here and give the resources to him." Jiang Changkong snorted. "Turn us into humans? You actually believe this kind of nonsense?" Aren't you a high-level astral race? The star demon said hurriedly. We were forced to do this. If we don't do it, we'll be killed by the astral warrior. We can only do it. What's the astral warrior's cultivation level? Jiang Changkong asked calmly. Early stage of the astral warrior. If he finds out that you ruined his plan, he'll definitely kill you. That's none of your business. Jiang Changkong activated the soul-controlling art and grabbed the star demon's soul. The domineering blade had already been tested. This half of the body would be left for later use. Jiang Changkong frowned when he found their spatial equipment. The star demon lied. The two star demons each had 3,500 astral crystals in their spatial equipment, but the old man only had 1,000. Is this for the Jiang family? To hell with it. He took the astral crystals and went to find the spatial equipment of the astral embryo cultivators. There were some astral crystals in them, but they were all grade 7. Aside from the astral crystals, there were also items with astral runes engraved on them, such as cell phones. This situation was definitely not for the Jiang family. Otherwise, the star demon wouldn't have so many astral crystals.